Well, hello, everybody. Well, there's a lot of people on here. Helen, hello. Terminator, hello. Jonathan, hey, buddy. Hey, Pat, how are you? Tennessee Farm Gal, hello. Grumpy Acres, hello. Vicky, hello. I think I'm caught up. Yeah, thank God it is Friday. Hey, RN, how are you? Well, so just some real quick news for everybody. So Bee's leaving here in just a few minutes. She's going on a top secret mission to save the world. And you want to talk about your mission?
No,
No.
it's a private mission.
Hey, Drummondson Live, how are you? Oh my goodness. How would you say that right there? Mary Michelle, how are you? I don't want to pronounce.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to call you 1027 because apparently I can't read your name. But they said, "Oh my God, you scared me." I was like, "Who's talking on my computer?" Yep. They also said it saved the world. B. Hoo. Yeah, we had something that came up today that she's going to have to run to. Well, one of us had to, and so I'm going to stick around. Indiana, Mike, what's up, buddy? Okay, so she says, "Plea, D, and Piadian. I just prefer Jess. Hey, Alan, how are you? Hey, Half Bubble Off Plum, hello. Dana Green, hello. Pack Rat, hello. Pleiadian. I like Jess, but Pleiadian, I can do that. Pack Rat, see, you know what? You and me, we're typed that way. You totally, make me look good. Thank you. Jasper's mom, hello. Yep. So anyway, so you're off. Anything you want to talk about before you got to go? Because you're going to be leaving here in like 9 minutes. So
Yeah.
What you been up to?
Oh my gosh.
Nothing. You've been on vacation.
What did we do? Oh, we're at the bees. I harvested honey. I did not spin it yet. I have to check the water content in one of them because one super was totally capped, and then the other one had a couple of frames that were not capped. So I need to, well, I check it anyway, but I need to for sure check it before I spin it.
Yep. What we got? Hey, Tabletop Farms is here. Hello. Hey, we are still eating. We ate some of your spinach tonight. It was awesome. So amazing. I can't wait to do more business.
Yeah, that's got a good shelf life.
Yep. Hey, Arthur, how are you? Yeah. Okay, so you harvested honey.
I harvested honey.
Yep. And
I harvested.
How'd that go, by the way?
It went good. I went over there and I thought for sure hive number 1 was gone because there was no activity when I was looking at it.
Mm-hmm.
And I like put in my head like, oh, that one's a goner. Check it first. And no, it had plenty of bees in it.
Mm-hmm.
And they had built a little bit of comb on the top of their lid. So they were out of space.
Yeah, you want to talk about comb on the top of the lid and out of space and more space and
yeah, I should have done a better job because I would have gotten more honey if they were all out of space. They all were building comb up into their lids. So I did not do a very good job tending to the bees this year.
Well, she says that her hives are fine. We got plenty of honey. We harvested a ton today. Well, I didn't really harvest. We got them off the hive.
Yes.
Now we've got to go and actually process them. But what she's referring to is she should have added another super earlier. We would have gotten more honey.
Yes.
She didn't stack the box tall enough as she could have because they were building in every corner and every crack and every crevice.
And filling.
Yeah.
And filling it all with honey. So
yeah.
I have a bucket of stuff that I had to scrape. So.
Yeah. Hey, Lisa, how are you?
Hi, Lisa.
Yeah. Canst thou bind the sweet influences? Go back up to where I pronounced it. Pleiadia. Okay, where are we at here? The blind sweet influence of Pleiades, or loosen the bands of Orion. Jasper Mom says B had a better issue. Who'd a guest?
Who'd have guessed?
Yeah, who'd have guessed?
Yeah.
Yep.
That's
Pretty cool.
That is not a bad problem to have. Too much wax, too much honey, too much.
Oh yeah.
They filled their supers with wax, and then they filled their supers with honey, and I am grateful.
Yeah, so you had some help over there.
Yes, from you. Yes, somebody had to film. Yeah, no, so I asked Tag if he could come over and help. So when I get the bees off of one of the frames, I hand it to him, and he carries it over to the empty super and puts it in there and closes it so the bees can't follow us over there and get back onto the frames that we just took them off.
Yeah, so do you remember you were peeling off the wax, and I had said, what are you gonna do with it? What'd you say?
The wax,
Mhm.
I use it for...
This is a loaded question, by the way.
I use it for health and beauty products.
And then what did I say?
You need health and beauty products.
No, that's not what I said. It's not what I said.
No, you said, are you going to make lip grease?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm going to make some lip grease. Chapstick, lip grease.
Yep. So she's going to finally make a chapstick video. She harvested
wax.
All the wax to do it with today. And so I filmed her over at the bees the whole time, but I think I'll wait to put a video out until we actually go through the spinning process and the processing of the honey. That way it's a complete video from opening the hive all the way to the end. And I think that'll be good.
As long as the water content of the honey is adequate, we can do it right away.
Yeah. We'll test that.
Otherwise, we have to wait.
And you're going to test that tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I can.
And how do you test it?
I use a refractometer, take a little bit of honey, put it on there, and then you close it, and then you hold it up to the sun, and you can see the water content of it.
Yeah. You see, Terminator says, Tag, remember when you asked me about the winter, did you see my video on When Nature Calls? Yes, I did. And if any of you guys who haven't watched the interview that I did with My Crooked Little Homestead, it was completely inspirational to me. And I've got some more that are in the works from people who are doing it like Lucy does it or the Terminator does it. And I think it's just amazing. Hello, the I Am of Me. Jess from Mom says, Hoodama, that be Tag. Yep, amen. Tracy, hello. Yeah, let me see. Glenn, hello. Deborah, hello. Deborah wants to know, does the bee suit completely protect you from being stung? No.
Well, yes and no. I mean, if they're on, I had my suit on and I had bees land on my knees, and I put my hands down on my knees to squat down, and I smashed them onto my legs, and so they did sting me. Well, my suit also it's a ventilation suit, so it has holes in it. So,
well, and I'll tell you, they'll protect you 99.9% of the time. Like, nobody got stung today, but I've had a time where I was leaning over and the veil got close to my face.
Yeah.
And as soon as my nose touched that veil, I don't know why these things are so smart, but man, they got me bam, 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 right in the tip of my nose through the veil because it was touching. Now, when the veil's out here, it's not a big deal. Most of the time when you get stung, it's because of your own actions. It's not because of them. It's you do something that causes them to, get pissy about it.
Yeah. I wear a full suit, full gloves.
Yes, me too.
Boots.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. Hey, Porterhouse. Lisa says, I'm looking forward to seeing the chapstick video. I need to make some, but don't know how yet. Yeah, it's actually an easy process. So, B, you're going to get on that, right?
It's super easy.
We've got the processing kitchen up. You've got the wax. You've got everything you need to do it, right?
Yeah.
RN wants to know if you're going to make a cinnamon roll flavored lip balm.
I could do cinnamon, but no, look at you. Look at you, big dog. Got a pastry. That's funny.
Yep. Yep. Let me see where we're at here. Alan said he'd love to try cinnamon roll lip wax. Yeah, no doubt. Jonathan says, I was looking for something to use all of my aloe plants for. Most recipes said to use beeswax. Need to find some around here. Well, Jonathan, I know where you can get some.
I don't know how much do you need, because I didn't harvest that much.
Well, let us know if we can get you some. We will.
I do know where to get
Mhm.
some from another farm.
Yeah, Trinity Road says, good evening to both of you from the Life Done Free training camp. Yeah, if you want to know what crazy is, just come to the camp. It's
Camp Crazy.
Yeah, Camp Crazy. Tabletop Farm says Terminator was a fitting name after watching the interview. Yeah, I actually named her Terminator after talking to her just a little bit. She interacted channel and with my channel. Man, what I think is so amazing isn't so much what she does, although what she does is hard, and she does it a lot the old way. That's all impressive too. But what I find so amazing about Lucy is her attitude towards it, because she's like, "This is easy, man. Like I got this. I'm.
She's like,
She
this
just-
is just life. This is just how we do it.
Just absolutely amazing.
All right, I gotta go.
All right, hey, love you, Punk.
I love you.
Have
Be
fun.
back.
Conquer the world. Okay, so because I knew it was coming, she's here with us anyway. Okay. Yeah, Misa says that they're scared of bees. Let me see. I'm sorry. I'll go get back to you, Arthur. I'll do that one next. You know what, guys? It's intimidating when you're over at the bees. I'm telling you, I'm a big guy, and I don't spook too easy. But man, you get into some of them hives and they're angry. I'm a little uncomfortable when we're over there. Now Bee's not, because she does it so much more than I do. But Bee, do you add vitamin E to your lip balm? So Arthur, Bee makes all kinds of lip balm. So it just depends. Like some of the stuff that I like a lot is lavender. She puts lavender in lavender essential oils in it, and all kinds of different stuff for all kinds of different things. And then I give it away till it's all gone. And then she's like, "Where's the chapstick?" Well, I did it. Yeah, Deborah wants to know, Lucy, how did you come up with the name Terminator? I'll let her answer that in here, even though I just said it. But Alan said, there was a time I had these in Idaho out in the forest. I used to just sit there and watch the bees all summer long, T-shirts and blue jeans. Some of my most relaxing time. Yeah, guys, I'll tell you something about bees. They really won't bother you. If you're not messing with their hive, we have bees around us constantly. And it's actually funny, my wife, and I can pick on her because, she's not here, but one will fly by or will land on the window, and she always says, "Oh, they're just checking in on me." And like she has this relationship with them, and it's quite funny. They don't even know who she is, but we'll just let her keep thinking that. You see, Lucy says, my daughter is so severely allergic to bees. She got stung the first time. They had to rush her to the hospital. She has carried an EpiPen with her all the time. Yeah, an EpiPen's a great thing to have around. Yeah, Crooked Little Homestead says, ask Tag that question. Yeah, I covered it. So, Deborah, I'll cover it. I'll just do it again in case you weren't here. So I named her. She was a subscriber to my channel very early on, in the very early days. And her and I just talked back and forth. And she'd send me an email, and I'd send her an email. And man, after her story, I'm like, man, you're the Terminator. Like she's the machine that don't stop. She's the thing that just doesn't stop. And it was a great experience. I really loved the interview that we did. We've been meaning to do it for a while, but we just couldn't get the schedules to work. Jasper Mom said I'd fit well in at Camp Crazy. Well, you've been to Camp Crazy. Man, I think you fit in just fine. Vicky says, prefer the standard bee hat versus the fencing style bee hat because it keeps the veil off your face. Yeah, mine, Bees is like that. So Bees has the big rim on it that keeps it off. Mine doesn't have it, so I wear my ball cap. And as long as I don't press against it where it gets tight, I don't get stung. But they've thumped me before. Not this time, but the time before. Might have been the time before that. We went over there. I thought, we hurry. We're going to do this quick. I wore tennis shoes. I wore my whole bee suit, gloves, veil, everything, but wore tennis shoes. And I will tell you, I will never do that again. Once one figured out they could sting me in my ankles, and I was right in the middle of the hives, they all knew they could sting me in the ankles, and it was a bad experience for Tag. Melissa, hello. Melissa's from Tennessee. Packrat says, sadly, it seems that the meaner the bees, the hardier they are. My family has one ornery old hive that takes punches better than the sweeter ones nearby. It was a wild brood harvested from the woods. Yeah, that's interesting. And what's there's so many things about bees that are interesting. Like they all smell different. Like you open one hive, the smell is different than the other hive. They act different. Some are more angry, as Packrat talked about. Some are more docile. Today they were pretty mild on us. So it was all pretty good. Hey, Suze, how are you? Grumpy says the bees do know who she is. They know the keepers smell and tell the stories about us through generations of the bees. At least that's what Bee and I were taught. Yeah. They react very different to Bee than they react to me. But in fairness, I'm a bull in a china shop and she's calm, and she don't get worked up and she just does her thing. And it's so funny to watch her, like when we're harvesting and she's, gently, sorry about that. She's gently sweeping the bees off the frame as to not hurt any of them. And when she sets the lids down, she's very careful to make sure she don't squish any of them. And, and so anyway, I'm different than that. I'm a little more like, let's go, let's get this thing done. Harry, hello. How are you, sir? Watched your Grumpy's What's Freedom episode 11. Thankful for the discussion about judges. Vote to elect a judge is not familiar with their judicial actions. Yeah, guys, we've been talking a lot about this lately, and Grumpy G and I talk about this pretty regularly, at least once a week, about all of the craziness that's going on. And I could just rant, but you guys probably don't want to hear me rant. But Harry, thank you for that. RN says, I've been plugging away for the last 2 years and took a break to just go relax at the beach. Best decision ever. Yeah, you know what? I don't think there's anything wrong with just taking some time. I've got a place in the woods that nobody really knows about but me. Not that it's like some secret place. It's just a place I go, and there's a tree that has grown kind of sideways. And I'll go out there sometimes and just sit with my thoughts and be by myself for a little while. And that. So, RN, I couldn't agree more. Take breaks. It can't just be work all the time. Let me see. Lucy says, if I could go through the Michigan border, which is 6 hours from my place, I would find a way to come meet you and be. Oh yeah, we'd love to do that. Well, you know what? I'm going to be speaking in a bunch of places in 2023. I think I don't remember where they all are. I have to look, but I may get up in that neck of the woods. One place was talking about doing a festival in Ohio and some of these other places. And so if they get me anywhere up along there, we should absolutely do that. Pam's Place Backyard Homestead says, how is the app coming along for freesteading? So yeah, this has been an interesting thing. So a couple issues we're having. Let me back up. So first of all, for Android, it works great. I play with it every day. It's on my phone. I use it all the time. But it has some messaging issues where, kind of like in the early days of the website, and even some of the stuff we experience now, messages pop up and there's just some messaging issues on the Android. On the iOS part of the app, I really want to get it out to a few people and let them test it. But the problem is that Apple says it's not a published app. And so because it's not a published app, so we're just going through tons of testing. I may go ahead and release it limited as soon as we get the messaging issue figured out. But I play with it every day. B pretty much just uses the app. She's never even on the website. Dorothy, hello, Dorothy says, Grandstand Life Done Free, one of my favorite folk. Well, thank you very much. Deborah says, am I the only one frozen? Yeah, but today, I'm assuming you're talking about the temperature of where you're at. Today here, it was 79 degrees. And it was so funny. We just got out of a 40-degree day, but it was nice. I actually used the day to, I built a platform out of concrete and rock to set my wood burning stove on in Pod 4. And then I installed the wood burning stove pipe all the way up through the ceiling, got it all done. I could burn a fire in it today. So it was actually kind of nice to be out there when it was decent. Carl Price 64. Hello. You are late, but you are here. The I'm and me says, got to duck out. The sister called. Well, the sister is very important. Make sure that you tell her that Tag said hello. Let me see. Jonathan says, Grumpy Acres Farms got all the nails out of that free wood, 140 feet of 2x4s, 35 feet of 4x4s, and 99 fence pickets now to try to make some rabbit hutch plans for this material. Oh, congratulations, Jonathan. That's a big deal. That is a big deal. Tabletop says that's all Lisa uses and loves it. It's the app. Yeah, so the app's out there. It's not really out there. I don't want to say it that way. You can't like go to this thing and get it, but there's a bunch of us that have been playing with it. And I'm glad Lisa likes it. And I'd love any feedback if she'd be willing to give it to me. Hippocrates Garden says, hola from Northeast Arkansas. Hello. Hey, real quick, Hippocrates, do you know, look up or contact, get on free. I know you're on Freesteading, but go on there and look up Mandy Garrett and Lisa Holloway. they're both from Arkansas. Maybe you guys are close enough together. You guys can, yoke up, as American Root says, yoke up. Hey, T-Paw. Yeah, everything is absolutely great here. We have been so busy. Like B said, we harvested honey most of the morning, and then I had to go to town to get some pipe stuff for my stove. But I got my stove in today, which was just so big. If it snows, I can actually be inside and be working, and I don't have to freeze my tail off. And maybe I'm just getting soft. I don't know, but I was not looking forward to working in 5-degree weather. I just would much rather be warm, but we'll see, right? Melissa White says, maybe I'll see you at another event workshop. I plan on going to several next year, too, with my seasoning blends. Yeah, no doubt. I think I'll probably do 6 or 7 next year, probably. And I'll post them on Freesteading, wherever I'm going to be. And as many of you guys as I could meet, I would absolutely love to. When I was in Tennessee, which, by the way, on that Sunday morning, my speech that I did in Tennessee is coming out on my YouTube channel for those of you that are interested. But man, it was so crazy. I, was talking on stage, and as soon as I got off, man, I just talked to people for the next however many hours. It was just amazing to just hear everybody's stories and where everybody comes from. And it was I can't tell you how cool it was. Let me see here. Okay. So Carl Price says, I noticed an issue on the Freesteading site. When you go to make a post, you're unable to see what you're writing. Now I'm assuming this would just be on the desktop, because that's all that's out there. We can see what you're writing. That's weird. I've not heard of that one yet, Carl. When we get off this tonight, I'll go in there and play with it, but I have not heard that. Lucy says, I will be butchering turkeys and chickens tomorrow, and I will do a video on how to do it. Yeah, we'd love to see it. And you keep doing videos, Lucy. I think that, all of us can learn a lot from you. And I was telling somebody, one of my buddies around here, just the other day, we were talking about you, and I was telling him that, you know more about living off grid than I'll ever know. And I live completely off grid, just the way you do it. It's just so super impressive. T-Paw says, Grumpy Acres got my Purdy shirt today. Hey, awesome. Laura, hello. How are you? Jasper's mom says, I've already got next year's festivals on the calendar. Yeah, I'm going to do everything I can to be at the Midwest one the full time. I missed you guys so much there. I was only there a few days, and then I had to go. Carl Price is on your phone. Yeah, but are you on? You're not on the app though, right? You're on. You're just on the internet. On a Windows or a Chrome or something like that, right? Jonathan says, windows open, nice weather this week here for a change. Yeah, dude, you live down in South Texas. Imagine the weather's nice pretty much there all the time, isn't it? Yeah, well, not so much here. We just got through. We just had a couple days that we got into the 20s at night. Here it was nice to fire up all the stoves and all of that stuff. Jonathan says no. It's not always nice. Yeah, I bet it gets pretty hot there too, huh? Yeah, I bet. Yeah, pretty cool. So what else is going on here on our end? Let's talk about community a little bit. I've got some great things going on in the community, and I'm so super excited about it. As I mentioned to you guys before, we're going to add at the minimum. We're going to add 2 new families to the community this year, next year, that have purchased land and are going through the process. There's another one that is negotiating, and we're working on it. So that's 3 freesteading families that were added to our community recently. If we can get it all done, and you guys, I can't tell you how much that warms my heart. What do you think, Ben? What do you think? Come here. We're being a stranger, right? Yeah, she don't have anything to say, but I can't tell you. It just warms my heart. I'm just so excited about it, and we're growing. And I encourage all of you guys, wherever you're out there, get on Freesteading, get with other people in your area, have meetings, get together, help them out, go to homesteads, build community. And with community, we get enough of these communities going on. I think we can really make a dent and protect all of us. I was listening earlier today to, they were talking about the natural gas shortages, and, I was working on my wood burning stove, and I was trying to get it up through the roof. And they were talking about, that they're saying that, there might be some shortages, and, they might have to cut some people off. And I looked right at B, and I said, how in the world do we as a people become so dependent that we have to rely on that? And guys, let's get together and let's build that community. I'm getting way behind, so let me catch up here real quick. Jasper Mom says to Carl Price, with my phone, I have to slide the page up while typing to see it. Okay. Laura says, crazy that here in New York, we haven't had our freeze yet. Yeah, we've had one here, but that is crazy for New York. Carl Price says, not on the app yet. I wasn't aware y'all had it up yet. Yeah, it's not up yet. We're playing with it. And I've had a few people who have reached out and said, hey, they'd like to play with it. And I've given it to them. To just kind of play with it, and people who are kind of close to Freesteading, the admin side are out there playing with it. So yeah, it wouldn't be the app. Melissa says, you and I spoke about your Wallapini at the Self-Reliance Festival. Would love to come see yours when you get it done or while you're working on it. Yeah, you'd be welcome too. I haven't done anything with it other than the dirt work. It's still sitting out there. I need to get the footings poured and the walls poured, but right now I'm kind of racing the winter. I want to make sure I've got everything done so that if winter dumps on me, we're taken care of. And then we're also smack dab in the middle of the big harvest. If you guys would laugh if you guys went out to Bee's processing kitchen right now. It is stacked everywhere on the floor, every countertop, everything has got a crate on it full of something, whether it's, peppers or tomatoes or squash or honey. We brought a bunch of honey in there. So that poor girl's going to have her hands absolutely full. Vicky says on the message, if you type more than you can see in the message box, a scroll bar appears on the right side of the screen so you can scroll up to see the message. Yeah. Speaking of that, there's a video I think coming out tomorrow. I went through, as you guys noticed on Freesteading, I'm going to get centered. This is weird. Okay. See you, honey. There's a video coming out on Freesteading, I think tomorrow, and we changed a bunch of the forums and kind of how they work. And so I just kind of go through the search feature just a little bit. So if you guys have any, want to go in there and look at that, I'd really appreciate it. And if we do it the way that I showed you guys in the video, which means instead of putting your topics in the feed, put them in the discussions. And if you do that, then what's going to happen is we're going to be able to categorize. Like for example, let's pick on the barn, which is one of the groups in there. If you go in the barn and click on discussions and then type in, hey, I want to have a quail group, or, favorite chicken breeds or whatever, as those begin to pile up there, then the search feature becomes super relevant. When someone's looking for something and says, hey, how do you harvest honey? Boom, they'll all just pop up if we just get them in there right. But anyway, so that's going on. Let me see, where in the world am I at? Oh, right there. Okay, so Pack Rat said, my Crooked Little Homestead just subscribed to your channel. Yeah, Lucy's awesome. Absolutely awesome. I hope she'll let me have her on the show again sometime. Vicky says, high in the 80s in Houston today. Man, Jester Monson, it's been cold and doggy, but especially in the early mornings this week. Yep. Andrew Adams says, got to 89 here in Wichita Falls, Texas. Yeah. Mary Michelle says, we finally got rain here in Washington State, and smoke from the fires is gone. The smoke has been so thick for about 2 weeks. Yeah, I would hate to live in that. See Grumpy Acres tag. I've got the slave phone. I can try the app. G may have to buy me a new phone. Yeah, the only one that I've given out really is the Android, because we can't get and Vicky, who's in here, she's been trying to work it through with me, and God bless her, because I'm not, a technical guy, and I really appreciate her patience, but we're working through it. Let me see here. Alan Chase tag. I have to run and watch later. See you, bud. Jonathan, sounds like fun. I love kitchen work. Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Jonathan, I know B would take all the help you give her. Laura says, so B will be on her best vacation yet. Oh, yeah, guys, she's going to go, and in a matter of a few days, she will harvest hundreds and hundreds of pounds of produce and put up honey and make chapstick. And that processing kitchen is going to be running full time, for the next little while. But it's good. I'll get a lot of videos out of it and be able to, post them on here so you guys can see how she really lollygags a lot. And, there's not a better person in this world that can make a 3-hour job 6 than my beautiful bride, because she's always on vacation, but love her to death. Tabletop Farm says, community is so important, and now is the time to build a strong community. Tabletop, I could not agree more. Guys, we're in trouble. Our world's a mess. You guys know I don't really talk much about politics or the things that are going on, because frankly, I don't think it matters. But yoke up. I'm telling you, go find somebody in your community, get together, learn new skills, build that community, because together we'll be strong. Alone you won't be. See, Grumpy says, Jonathan, you'll fit right in. Yep. Teapot Grumpy Acres, I just got a Motorola. Love the pictures. Outright clear. Tabletop said, had a meeting last night with 50 or so in the community about current times, and we meet every other week. Oh, how cool. How amazing is that? Well, Tabletop, I'm going to tell you something. You want me to come up and speak to them? Or you want me to do anything I can help with, or even just come attend it and listen? I volunteer. To Jasper Moms, I'm still trying to figure it out to Tabletop Farms. There's been a lot of personal SHTF stuff going on. Well, yep. There's a lot of that stuff going on, Jasper's mom, to a lot of people. Carl Price says, the bad news for me, I'm afraid my engine on my tractor with less than 600 hours on it is no longer under warranty, has bit the dust, waiting on John Deere to give me the news. I depend on it for 90% of what I do. Oh my goodness. 600 hours and going through an engine. I almost think they make things today to break. So you have to replace them quick. I don't know. That's Carl Price. I'm super sorry to hear that, bud. See, Tabletop says, I was going to talk to you about that. Yep, Tabletop, you just let me know. We'll figure it out for sure. Dana Green says it does matter. You might reach one more. Yeah, well said. Yeah, well said. Guys, I really think that community is just this huge, this big, it's becoming such a big thing for us, to go out there. It's why I've pushed so hard, for years and years. And you guys know this, I've talked about this, I kind of hid in the closet, and I didn't really want anyone to know that I was prepping and that I was growing my own stuff. And I was trying to do that stuff for myself because I was, thought it would be weird. And then everything happened to me, and I just decided to get in the fight and get it out there. And I took some heat when I advertised those piece of properties from, people that I know. They're like, oh, you don't even know who'd be coming here. I'm like, well, would you rather have an unknown or a like-minded unknown? You pick, and when I put it to them like that, usually I, got through a little bit to them, but I just think it's just that important that I'm willing to reach out there and I'm willing to put things at risk a little bit, so that we can hopefully continue to build the community, because it's kind of how I see it. We talked early on in my channel about building a town, and that, although that plan is well on its way and we continue to work on it, but I think we should build towns everywhere. I think we should, do them in Ohio and, do them in Kentucky and do them in all these other places in Texas. And if we can do enough of them, I really think that we could, make a dent. So might just be wishful thinking, but okay. So Carl Price says planned obsolescence. Yeah. Planned obsolescence. Yeah, it's ridiculous. Jonathan said, I had a lot of stuff is absolutely designed to fail. I hope something like a John Deere wouldn't be one of those things, though. Yeah, I think that's true for a lot of early stuff. I think there was a point in time where John Deere was the cream of the crop or whatever. But look at like DeWalt. I won't buy DeWalt tools at all anymore. It used to be just awesome. Or Rigid. Rigid's really gone downhill too. Call Price, so sorry. We will keep you in our thoughts and prayers, Yoda. Yeah. Yep, no doubt. I'd be interested to hear how it comes out. RN, I bought 2 ceiling fans with a 12-month warranty. One died at 13 months, the other 14 months. Yeah, ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Property says this area is still in the food pantry is the fix for food insecurity mindset. Lawns over food, toys over tools. Isn't that crazy? Could you imagine if everybody with a yard or a lawn would just grow a garden? How much food that would produce? Oh my goodness. Jasper says, Tag, I may have to email you about it. I'm not good at asking for help, but there comes a time when it becomes necessary. Yeah, we all need help. There's times, and I know it might surprise you guys, but I get frustrated and there's times I'll get angry and whatever it is, and I just lean on my buddies, and a lot of times they don't even know they're helping me, but I think together we can get through it. And, sometimes I got to be the 80 while someone else is the 20. And sometimes someone's got to be the 20 while I'm the 80. And I think that's a good thing. Tabletop says we really need to figure out how to get the younger individuals more involved. I could not agree more. I think the art to that is you get a few, more will come. I've got a few on my side. Tabletop, you met my boys when, you were out here, and they're super like-minded. But yeah, I couldn't agree more, because, most of us that are out here, swinging an axe are old people like me, Let me see. Tabletop at Jasper Mom, we are always here to lend a hand. Yeah. And I think, Jasper Mom, this is a really, really good point. There's a lot of really good people on here, and I think you should feel free to reach out to them, because you just don't ever know. Arthur says Tag Lowe's is having a big sale on brands of tools. Yeah, and there's some good tools there at Lowe's. I prefer to buy tools at Home Depot, mainly because I buy Milwaukee mostly. I bought Rigid for years and years and years because they had a lifetime warranty. And then I woke up and realized that, a lifetime warranty is no good if they won't cover anything. And so I ended up throwing a bunch of tools away because they wouldn't cover it, because it was this or it was that, or, oh, we can't find your registration, or whatever it is. And, my wife registers all my tools, and she's anal. And so I can assure you she did it. Let me see. Packrat said, just had the compressor fail on our LG fridge, slightly within the warranty period. It took a lot of conversation with an overseas call center and a visit from a service tech 2 weeks later. Isn't it crazy how these companies have forgot who they serve? It's much like politics. Absolutely crazy. Hippocrates Garden says, when one feels bad about asking or accepting help, just remember, those with the gift of service can only express that gift if there's someone to serve. Oh, how well said is that? Yeah, that needs to be, I wonder if I can. Okay, so I just pinned that message all the way at the top. I think everybody should read that. That's a great message. And I just learned how to pin a message. Pretty cool. When I was getting the fence wood down, Jonathan says, the neighbor and I got to talking, and he's getting back into gardening with his daughters too. He said it was encouraging to know others are too. Yeah, how cool is that? American Root says, hey, we're here. Sorry I'm late. Love the shirt. Yeah, this is a pretty cool shirt. It says yoke up on it. I wonder where I learned that from. It's funny, the words yoke up. I've heard 3 or 4 channels using the word yoke up now, and it came from American Roots. And so we kind of have now our own language that, American Roots has now contributed to with the words yoke up. RN says to Carl Price, better to get too much power than not enough. I have learned that too many times, and I could not agree more. Grumpy Acre says, always reach out. The worst thing they will say is, I don't have time, or no. Totally agree. MJ from Wisconsin, hello. Hello, better be late than never. Yep. Was out enjoying the day. Probably one of our last 75-degree days. Yeah, it's been absolutely beautiful here too. Packrat says, at Tabletop Farms, yes, and hopefully before hunger is the prime motivator of the young generation to learn, as there is a big learning curve I'm still climbing, and time sink that I'm still paying out. Yeah. I hope people don't go hungry. There's a lot of people calling for it. And part of me just thinks it's them trying to continue us, keep us divided and living in fear and all of these things. But man, there's a lot going on in the world. I don't watch a lot of the news anymore, but you really can't escape it. And, I was listening today while I was working on my stove, and, listening to some of the stuff going on overseas and the stuff going on. That's where I heard about the energy thing. Just crazy. Yeah, Jasper Mom's just trying to figure things out alone is a pickle. No, it's not. You just got to get committed to doing it, Jasper Mom. I'm telling you, it's much easier. You got someone else there, but when you have somebody else there, you also have another opinion. Carl Price says, this tractor pretty much did what I needed, except it strained when picking up 1,500 pound bales of hay. Yeah, I definitely agree with you on the horsepower. Yeah, I pick my bales of hay up with a skid steer because, man, the tractors just struggle. They just don't have the same lift. Jasper's mom, to Hippocrates Garden, says, I've always been about service to everyone except myself. Yeah, well, don't forget yourself. Yourself is very important. Arthur Leslie says, most lifetime warranty actually means it's whatever the manufacturer considers the life of the product, unless they say for as long as you own it. You have no true idea. Yeah, Rigid, as you know, I was a big Rigid fan. I have so many Rigid tools, and I just got so sick of dealing with the warranty. I've just started buying. Every time something burns out, I just buy Milwaukee. And so far, I haven't been able to kill any of them yet. Yep. Tabletop Farms to Jasper's mom says, yes, yes, a loan can be tough, but don't ever hesitate to ask. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Lucy says, my husband has a 9N Ford tractor. 6 years ago, the head gasket went in. Once my son builds a shop, my husband and I will work on it and change it. For now, my son got us another 9N tractor for $125 and we use it. How cool is that? Yeah. And Jasper mom says that she appreciates all of us. And yeah, this is kind of a community, and I can't tell you how cool it is for, the emails that come in, and I get all kinds of them that just talk about, hey, I really needed to hear that day, or, thanks for being positive, or, whatever it is. And it's so funny how it really works. It's kind of the other way. You guys are the ones that keep me, motivated and, driving down the road. I feel like I can't be letting you all down. And it's just so funny how it really works. But Hippocrates Garden says, I see a lot of portable building manufacturers like used for shed to home. Yep. Tout the LP Smart Siding 25-year warranty, but have yet to find evidence being upheld. Yeah, I pretty much count on nothing having a warranty. Yeah, and I don't know anything about LP Smart Siding. I like concrete siding because it's just so durable. The only thing better than that would be, brick or rock, in my opinion. But let me see. Packrat's talking to Lucy, and he says, Homestead, that's the versatile little beast that I'm hoping to get working this winter. Henry Ford isn't going to force updates to that, unlike John Deere. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Could not agree more. My favorite car I own, I have a 73 Chevy pickup. I don't drive it. Well, you guys have seen it. I've been in the middle of rebuilding it for 2 years, but by far my favorite. Let me see. Jochi says, I'm going for a cordless circular saw and chainsaw for doing small jobs. We have a full size that use gas or electricity already, but need the small one when I'm working alone. Any suggestions? Yeah, I have all of these. So I'm going to tell you guys something. My Milwaukee worm drive saw. It's not really a worm drive because there's not a worm drive in it, but it's where it's got the long handle on the back. Looks like a worm drive saw. It's one of my favorite tools I own. I use it literally every single day. You cannot go wrong with it. I can put an 8 amp hour battery in it and cut all day long. It's got every bit of power that my corded ones do. I'll probably never go back. Plus, because I'm off grid and with solar, it just, for me makes sense. Also, let's talk about chainsaws real quick. Milwaukee's got a couple chainsaws out, a couple different sizes, and guys, they're pretty tough. They cut. I don't want to say they have the power my Steels do, because they don't, but they're pretty sufficient. And I think it's pretty hard to beat. I did own a Ryobi chainsaw once because it was just much cheaper, and I didn't think we'd use it very much, and we didn't. But it didn't take very many times using it before we broke it. Okay. Does anyone have any experience with log home kits? Don't want to spend $100K and find out it's BS. So I've actually built some of these in my youth, the log frames. And this is kind of what I took out of it. First of all, they're beautiful. It's hard to find a more beautiful home, I think, in my opinion. But I also think that the amount of maintenance it takes to keep them up, constantly treating them. And maybe this was back in the day, so maybe things have changed today. And if somebody knows, let me know. But I believe that the maintenance makes it not worth it, in my opinion, again, based on very, very old information. Laura says, such a great community you've created. Didn't think of finding anyone even close to me here on Long Kajang. I hope I said that right. Are you saying that you found somebody close to you? Because that's pretty cool. Jasper's mom said that she's been looking at the log cabins too, because I believe it's just a ton of maintenance. Again, unless things have changed, I haven't built one in 20 years, so things may have changed since then. But back then, some of the owners that I had talked to who had owned log homes had said it was just a ton of maintenance. I've never owned one though, just to be fair. Vicky Mullen says, we use a Ryobi powered circular saw. Works great. Now, I don't have a Ryobi. I have a Rigid and Milwaukee. I use my Milwaukee every single day. Jonathan says, a couple months ago, I found what looked like a steel on DeWalt job site table saw and extras on Craigslist. I hesitated and missed out, been kicking myself, but maybe it was for the best. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. DeWalt, there was a time where it was the best of the best of the best of the best, but their quality just seems to really have fallen off, in my opinion. And I bought bunches of it. That might just be my experience too. Let me see. Lucy says, anyone here tonight and on freesteading inspire me so much. You are my all new family. Heck yeah. I love this family. You guys know that I look forward to Fridays every single week. I'm like, I get to do the live on Friday. And I wish B was here with me, but sometimes just stuff comes up. Let me see. Hypocrisy Garden says, I just want a basic 350 with a carb in my 86 C20. Basic, easy-ish to work on, no computer chips. Yep. Couldn't agree more. Guys, I love the old square body Chevys. I think everybody should have one. There's so many parts out there. And just like what he was talking about, a basic 350, those engines are on every corner, and all the alternator swap and all the water pump swap and all the, stuff. That's just an absolute great vehicle to have, in my opinion. Hey, Miley, what's up? Oh, Laura, she says Long Island. And yes, fingers messed up. Yeah, cool. I think that's super cool that you found someone out there in Long Island. B and I, over the last 4 or 5 years, have been to Long Island twice. It's actually one of my favorite places to go. It's kind of like a clean version, or at least last time I was there, a clean version of Vegas. You know how Vegas is all the light and but there's so much schmut there, which makes it where I don't really like Vegas. But I really like New York. I would never want to live there. No offense, Laura, but I'm one of my favorite places. Trinity Road says, I run the Milwaukee chainsaw and I don't think it can be beat. I can haul it around in the car without the smell of fuel and oil. Not just that, but I think there's another really big advantage, Trinity, is that if I leave my chainsaws, and you guys know I got a whole bunch of, I think I have 8 still saws out in my shop. If I just leave them sitting on a shelf and a year later go pick them up, they will not start. If you put in that Milwaukee battery powered one, if you put a battery in one a year later, it will fire right up. So I think there's some huge advantages to it. Parker's Garden says True Log makes concrete siding that looks like logs. Now, see, that's awesome, right? It won't deteriorate. You ain't got to treat it all the time. Tabletop says maintenance is what has kept us away from a log home. Yeah, I have been. I love a log home. I love that kind of stuff, but I just don't want to do the maintenance. I'm afraid I'm going to grow old, and American Roots says, I love Friday nights with Life Done Free. Yeah, well, I love that you're here. We had so much fun with American Roots. I can't tell you, we just laughed and laughed and laughed. And even Joe bloodied his nose, and that was fun. And, Jess got to, hold the line with the lines of flour behind her, and that was fun. And we just laughed the whole time. It was just great. And I'll tell you, American Roots, and I never told you this before, but real quick, I'll tell you one of my absolute favorite moments of that whole week, when everyone was down here and everyone was working together, was when we were at dinners those 2 nights. And I literally sat back in awe watching you guys laugh and joke around with everybody. It was just super cool. Just can't tell you how cool it was. Let me see. Mary says, I look forward to Fridays and spending time with the community too. Yeah, me too. It's the highlight of my week. Let me see. Tabletop said, David saw your truck and was like, is that Tag's truck? Yeah, David saw your truck. I'm not sure who we're talking about, Tabletop. And your boy, I'm guessing. And yes, that's Tag's truck. I can't wait to get that thing going. It is just that thing is the biggest truck ever. It's a 73 crew cab 1-ton. And when I got it, I drove it into my shop. It had a 454 in it and it barely ran. And an automatic, and just nothing was great. So we stripped the whole entire thing down. I even took the cab off of it, put all new everything in. So from the radiator back to the gas tanks is 100% new. So it's got a brand new engine, a brand new tranny, a brand new transfer case, brand new front end, all the shocks, all the springs, all the brake lines, all the fuel lines, all of it, all the way back to the back of the gas tanks. I still have the rear end to do, but I need to find time to go work on it. Okay, where in the world am I at here? Okay, Laura says, yes, it's beautiful. Unfortunately, way too liberal. Yeah, I really like New York, Laura. I really, really do. B, every time we go down there, she likes the shopping and I like the bartering. No, and I'm not bartering, that's the right word. I like the dickering. I like on the streets going back and forth. I've taken in my previous life, some of my company, my employees, I've taken them to New York a couple times on vacation, and bought them purses and fake Rolexes and all that stuff. It was just way too much fun. Let me see. Lucy says 4 years ago I bought myself a cheap battery operated chainsaw for $80. I used it to cut wood with it. I even cut. Oh my goodness, where am I? I must have gotten way behind. Okay. Let me see. I even cut big maple down about 12 inches in diameter. Yeah, guys, battery powered stuff's come a long, long way. And I do not own the Milwaukee chainsaw yet, but I'm telling you, it is on my list. And I want to go get the big one because everything everyone's telling me is it is every bit as good, as the Stills and that. And I just really love the idea. If I just need something quick to just put a battery in it. And plus I have a big solar system that can charge. And I just think it just works great. Jonathan says, are you going to get the time sensitive hours work done before the messy winter weather? I'm trying to. So I've got a couple things on my list that I've got to get done. So my drawdown pipe coming out of the back of my pond, I've got to get covered so that it don't freeze. Because if you could imagine that thing freezing and breaking in the middle of the winter, my pond, all my water's draining out in the middle of the winter. And then I got to go down in the middle of the winter in the ice and the snow and plug a pipe that's pushing out, I don't even know what it would be, 100 gallons a minute or whatever. What is a 2-inch pipe? How much water pushes out? Probably a lot more than that, huh? So I've got to get that done. I've still got an issue with Bethany's water in her processing kitchen. I'm going to try to knock that out tomorrow. And then I needed to get the stove in the Pod 4, which I got that done today. So yeah, so I am working hard on getting everything that's winter sensitive complete to the best of my ability. Carl Price said, that's wrong. That's what's wrong with John Deere nowadays. Too many electronics. I want the 1970s stuff. Yeah, this is actually an interesting, let me see here. Try not to lose everybody because I'm not too far behind. You guys know I go to a lot of auctions. Part of the reason I think you want to go to auctions is for that exact reason. First of all, you're buying that older stuff. You're taking money out of the system, right? You're just taking it from your pocket and putting it into the farmer's pocket. And, I think it's kind of like, one of the ways that we can go about starving the beast is to do business that way. And plus you get this great stuff that was made, a while ago and is still super mechanical. Mary and Michelle says, could you do a video on what tools you would need when starting out? I'm in the process to start to acquire tools. Oh my goodness. Yeah. What's hard about that, Mary, is that is so dependent on what your goal is. Because there's just so many tools out there. Like for me, I knew from the very beginning, the very first thing I was going to do is build a house. Because I was always afraid that what if something happened, and so that's why I started with Pod 1. And none of you guys, I told you guys this story. So Pod 1 in my house has a kitchen, a bathroom, and 2 bedrooms on purpose. Because I knew if I could just get Pod 1 built, if something happened and I needed to scramble, I would have a couple bedrooms, a kitchen, we could eat, and had a bathroom, with running water, and we'd be good to go. And then Pod 3 was the living room, right? Because I wanted to have a living room. And then Pod 4, we added another bathroom, the laundry room, a bedroom, and the office that I'm sitting in now. And now Pod 4 will ultimately be my master bedroom. But I think it depends on what the goal is. Because if you ask B, say, hey, what tools would you want starting out? She'd go at it a different way. She'd say, well, the first thing I would do is plant trees because trees take a long time to go. So what tools do you need for trees? And she would go down, that way. So it'd be hard. I guess I could do a video on what tools I thought was important, but I think it will be different. I think it will be different depending upon your particular situation. American Root says, thanks for having us. The whole trip was a blessing. It was awesome. We had a blast. Tabletop said he liked it and wanted it. Yeah. So tell your boy Tabletop that I probably have, I'm guessing probably $25,000 in it right now. And they don't even run yet. That I don't know how big his piggy bank is, but tell him to come see me. Pack Rat says to Carl Price, Vice had an article in 217 on cracking John Deere tractors. Farmers in the West were finding it easier to subscribe to a bootleg website in Eastern Europe than to use the dealership. Yeah, isn't that crazy? Chochi says, I discovered what is called a Japanese pole saw. So a hand manual saw for small jobs and love it. I am building a pallet fence around my garden and it's great for small jobs. I think this is a great point. And I think everybody should have hand saws and a hand drill and hammers and nails and all of those kind of things so that if you don't have power, And so I don't disagree with this at all. Vicky says, we have a log home, used Satterwhite Homes out of Longview, Texas. They have a builder's crew that can help install it. We had them build the kit, but finished it out ourselves. Well, Vicky, can you tell us about the maintenance? And you might, I see a comment down there a little bit. If you haven't already mentioned it, tell us what the maintenance is like. Because again, when I was doing it, 20 years ago, it sure seemed like to me it was a lot of work. Proctor said, I had a chance to move from Memphis to New York City back in 2000, worked for an international insurance company in IT, but didn't want to move. Their offices where I would have worked were the Twin Towers. Oh, I bet, isn't that crazy? I'd be thinking about that on like every day. Vicky says, the key to reducing the maintenance on a log home is to build it with the shed porch on all sides to keep the logs from being exposed to the weather. Yeah, that makes sense. So basically, if you just have an eave up underneath your soffit and fascia that covers it all, keeps it out of the sun, and then also keeps it out of the weather to make it a lot easier. That makes sense. Let me see. We're looking at log home kits because we can afford it without a loan. We are desperate to have a place to live on our new 40-acre homestead. Yeah, I don't know that those kits are going to save you any money, are they? I mean, I don't know what they cost, so maybe I'm talking out my butt a little bit here, but I built my whole house, and I built it, regular 2x6 construction, the whole thing, all the way through it. And I don't know what I have in my house. I probably maybe have $100,000. If you're talking about just the material cost, right? Maybe $100,000 or $120,000 in my house or something like that. But, and I'm going to tell you something else about log home. I'm not trying to discourage you at all. It could be, I think they're the most beautiful thing ever. From everything I've understood, they're just super high maintenance. And again, I could be totally wrong. Laura says, Danny from Deep South Homestead did a video on basic tools you should have. Yeah, and Danny would know a whole bunch about that. Grumpy Acres to Hippocrates says, glad you didn't go. God is great. Trust your gut. Yeah, how cool is that? Vicky says, yes, we started planting trees while we were working on finishing the log cabin shell. Yeah, I think trees, and then water. That's another thing, anything that takes time to develop, just like a pond, we stocked our pond this year with fish that were, about that big. And they're maybe about this big now, but another 2 years, it'll be, we'll definitely have a food source there, but it's probably start to finish is going to be a 4-year process. Jess from Mom said, I have a lot of hand tools, but when I went to get a bunch of nails, bolts, screws, etc., they didn't have the brand I was looking for. Yeah, I store, it's not really a prepping thing to me. It's just, I like having, like, for example, if a water line breaks, I have everything to fix it. If an outlet goes out, I have everything to fix it. If, B decides she wants an outlet moved or a light moved, or she wants something done, I pretty much always have that kind of stuff around. When I go buy screws, like I will never buy a little box of screws. I'm going to buy a pail, and then I'm going to put the pail on my shelf because eventually I will run through them. Dorothy says, Grandstand bought log home kit 30 years ago, never ending maintenance. That's the way I understood it. I think Vicky, Vicky's in here, and she's a super smart lady. Her and her husband own a log cabin, and I'd be interested to hear more about it. But everything that I was told was just maintenance. Tabletop says, we have used Zabot hand saws for years, and you can't find any hand saw any better. Yeah, cool. Drummondson Live says 76 bicentennial Chevy Silverado. Yeah, how cool is that? I love square bodies. Yeah, I wish I could, poke a little square body emoji on everyone who owns one. So Hippocrates Garden says to Vicky Pullen, so basically log is like earth built, straw bales, etc. Good foundation and great hat or roof. That's a good way to say that. Vicky says, yes, we went with the kit, so we were able to pay cash and not get a loan. Yeah, well, that's smart. Super smart all by itself. Let me see here. Lucy says, tag, before I got my chainsaw, I used a hand saw cutting wood up that had already fallen. I sharpened it myself, but wore all the teeth off. Oh, my goodness. Lucy, you're from a whole nother world. You know that? I love everything about your story. I really do. Every time you comment, I just smile to myself. Hippocrates says, so if there was a community, and in the community is a lot of hand tools, someone needs to be the guru at sharpening, tooth setting, etc. Even hand tools need maintenance. Could not agree more. We are very fortunate in this community that we've got a few of those kind of people, who do that kind of stuff. That certainly helps, but great point. Let me see here. Mary Michelle says, single female wanting to purchase land and build a home, have no tools. Least important tools to be used on the homestead. Oh yeah, if you were going to build a house, I could absolutely. And here's the thing: you can do it kind of on the cheap too, because there's a lot of tools. Like I'll give you an example. I've got a Milwaukee miter saw. I have a Milwaukee table saw, and I have a Milwaukee worm drive saw, and a jigsaw, and a bunch of the different saws that are all battery powered. But the truth is, my worm drive saw, I could do pretty much everything with. I could really do all the jobs with just that one saw. So, a couple of those, some drills, to put screws. I only build with screws. I don't use nails unless it's with like trim or something like that. So there's just a couple tools there, speed square, a line, and line level, a level, just a couple of those things. But I'll do a video about that, and Mary, and get you collecting some tools, because there's always a reason to buy tools. MJ in Wisconsin says, I used to get on my late husband about buying tools. Now it's just me. I finally get it. Tools are my best friend. Now I get excited about tool shopping. Buy more tools, less shoes. I could not agree more. MJ, can you please email Bethany, tagandb@lifedonefree.com, and tell her the joys of buying tools? I would really appreciate that. Hippocrates says, Sermento First Tools is brain and hands. Use those to build community, and the rest will come. Now, MJ, you said laugh out loud. Does that mean you're not going to email her? Because, I'm really counting on you. I'm really, really counting on you. She needs to hear your message. It's super important. Vicky, tell B our log cabin is our vacation. Yeah. Well played, Vicky. Well played. That is how we were able to afford it. Not taking vacations and saved money instead to pay for a kit. Amen. Amen. Well worth it. And guys, we're kind of bashing on log cabin, but the truth is, man, they are beautiful. And then big, thick walls. I mean, I think they're amazing. I just don't want to do the maintenance, but there's got to be a better way. I think what Vicky was saying too about putting a roof all the way around it, extend it out, porch on all four sides. That makes a whole lot of sense. Jonathan says, as long as you're not shooting for extreme precision or speed, you can do quite a lot with a simple set of tools. I built shelves, desks, and more with only a circular saw to do my cutting. Yeah, that's what I was saying right there. Is, I can tell you, my little battery powered Milwaukee saw, I could do pretty much all of the cutting. Unless you started getting into some tight curves and stuff like that, you'll pretty much get it. Grumpy Acre says tools. Yeah, I know. There's a couple of them that are on my list that I'd like to go get, but I've been trying not to spend any money lately. So I've been trying to be a good boy, but it's so hard because I so love them. Jasper Mom says to Hippocrates Garden, I did get sharpener for the saws because I knew they'd be needed. I have a lot of stuff I've prepped that I don't know how to use, but I know there'll be others that do. Yeah, that's an interesting topic, Jasper Mom. If you don't know how to use them, learn how to use them. If it's to be, it's up to me, right? And so you've got to be able to go out there and do it. And I'm going to tell you something, Jasper's mom, you could absolutely build your own house. I'm telling you could absolutely do it. A lot of times it's a case of, you don't know what you don't know. But I mean, even in my house, there's a lot of things I didn't know. I researched it. I figured it out. And pretty soon there you go. Can you read a level? Can you read a tape measure? If you can do those two things, you're going to be successful. Lucy says, tag, one day I will have to tell you the story about the 86-pound turkey I raised and butchered. Oh my goodness, an 86-pound turkey? I think the biggest one I've ever heard of is like 30. Yeah, you'll have to tell me that story. I wish you'd have told that on the when we did our video. Maybe we'll have to do another one. MJ says, okay, maybe a balance of tools and shoes. No, the only shoes that we should be buying is, 4 years worth of muck boots and work boots and tennis shoes to make sure that we're good for 4 or 5 years. And that should be the end of the shoe issue and jewelry issue too, in my opinion. But I promise you, not everybody in my house agrees with that stance. Alan Chase says, I'm back. If you have a good community, there should be almost any tool in the group, but it helps if you have the basics. Yeah, we do that here. I have several of my tools right now at somebody else's house because somebody needed something, a crimper or a saw or, whatever it was. And I borrow tools too, from people. Because sometimes it's just some of that stuff you just don't want to go out and buy because you're going to use it once and never use it again. Although I think it's still a good reason. Vicky says there is maintenance on the logs, but with the full porch, it's less. Yeah. The insulation of the 8-inch thick wood logs and the beauty of the wood is worth the maintenance. Yeah. I think that was really well said because they are absolutely beautiful. Our local dump lets people leave good items, and we got friendly with the guy that runs it, and he saves stuff for us. So that's cool. We can fix almost any tool. You would be surprised what people throw away. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. I'll tell you a funny story about this bee. Next time Bee's on here, because she's not on here, we can pick on her. My bride, if I would allow it, it would be a dumpster diver. That girl, every time we pull up to the dump to drop stuff off, she's saying, hey, can I go roam around? Can I go search through things? Now, in fairness, one time we pulled up and laying right there next to it, I was getting ready to dump a load, was a Berkey filter, a Berkey water. There was no filters in it, just the housing, just a stainless steel Berkey one sitting right there on the ground. And she had asked the guy there if she could have it. And he said, yeah, of course. And she took it home, cleaned it up, put it in storage, and it's still in storage. But yeah, my bride will absolutely be a dumpster diver. Okay, let me see here. Hey, y'all, been watching you on the big screen, says Skanes Girl. But just now was able to get the laptop rolling to chat. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you were listening, and I'm glad you're here to chat. I have a full shop of green store tools my dad picked up and repaired. Yeah, how cool is that? I love it when you get to fix a tool. I have such a hard time getting rid of tools. Like the more the merrier. And I'm actually out of space. My wood shop, I have nowhere to put any more tools. And I have a whole shipping container full of tools. I haven't unloaded yet. But there's just no such thing as too many. Lucy says, my son gets tools all the time free from his scrap load. So Lucy's son is in the scrap business. I have 4 cutoff saws, and he just got a 10-inch table saw for free. Oh, yeah. And a table saw is such a handy tool. I use my table. I have a battery-powered Milwaukee table saw, and I like it because I can throw it in the back of my, Polaris and go drive to the other side. And, if I'm ripping down boards for the, the apiary or, like one of these days I want to build a bridge where I can just work, kind of remotely. Okay, so Vicky, thank you very much for your encouragement. It's been kind of scary and exciting too. Yeah, I want to say this to you. I'm not trying to discourage you with the maintenance at all. And if you can figure out a way to go be debt-free, you go do it. I don't care what you're building it out of, right? And the other thing is when it's all said and done, you'll have the prettiest house there is. So I wasn't trying to be discouraging at all. And yes, Vicky, thank you for being encouraging. Alan Chase says, my best shoes are summer combat boots and winter boots. Yeah, I like I have a good pair of muck boots. I have a good pair of ASIC tennis shoes that I wear probably primarily. And then I've got a couple pairs of combat boots if I'm going to be out like cutting wood or something like that. Jasper Mom says, I agree, Tag, and someday I'll find people to teach me. I told you before I want to do things, but I need the community. Yeah, the community makes it helpful, but at the same time, Joshua, I want to encourage you that you can do it. I can't tell you, and I've said this, many times before, if you'd have told me that I was going to create a system where my rainwater and my well water and all of these things can go on different faucets at different times of the house prior to it, I would not have believed you. But with enough research, I figured it out, and you will too. But yes, you do need community. It's super helpful. Parker's Garden said, I paid $50 for a pair of almost new Carolina lineman boots. That's a good deal, but can't divulge my source. Well, that's not very fair. I think you can divulge your source. I think you're holding out on us. I think you're a boot tease. Packrat says, buying shoes, American-made Red Wing steel-toed boots are the go-to fashion statement for all occasions, formal and domestic. I have a buddy of mine who just had a custody court date, and he was in a big, beautiful suit and a pair of Red Wing steel-toe boots as he went to court. Lucy says, Jasper Mom, if I can do it, so can you. Yeah, no doubt. And Lucy, this is why I liked the interview with you so much. And this is why I like talking to you so much, is exactly this point right here. I'm again, super impressed. Okay, where are we at here? Ooh, a little too far here. Okay, so Carl Price is talking to Mary and says, you might look at the local college and take a woodworking class. Oh, wonderful. That would give you a good idea of the tools that you would need to improve your skills. Yeah, it's not just tools. As Carl Price mentioned, it's also skills, but there's just some basic ones, guys, like a 3-4-5. If you learn what a 3-4-5 is, it will do so much for your ability to build things, right? Which is just a triangle that if you measure, 3 foot in one direction and 4 feet in the other, the distance between the 2 points will be 5 if you have a true 90-degree angle. And it works in many different multitudes, but just little things like that. Vicky says, also, the log homes are less likely to burn because the house is so well sealed that there is less oxygen to fuel the fire. The owner of Satterwhite Homes helped with the insurance issues. Interesting. Yeah, I would really like the idea of my walls being solid wood like that. I mean, you're not shooting through them. You're not throwing a rock through them. Because, dude, this is like my house. This, the drywall that's on the wall right here, I promise you I could, it would not take any effort to punch through. I converted a prefab shed into a tiny home, RN says. Would not do it again. Would build from scratch to achieve an all-around better construction for less money. I know a lot of people who bought one of those Amish pre-built sheds and then put a cabin, somewhere. But I think you're right. If I was going to do it, I think I just start it and build it all up so that I wasn't building around someone else's shape. My husband used to take tools and electrical items home to me to fix. He would say, my wife can fix anything. Well, I love that. So how close are you? Because I could send you all kinds of stuff that don't work. Jasmine said, I have no doubt about that, Terminator. You're definitely a badass, and you spent years doing it. I got to start somewhere. Yeah. Well, I would agree with both of those. You got to start somewhere, and the Terminator is a badass. Packrat says, dumpster diver. Oh, Packrat. Appreciates B even more now. So many things get recycled for the Freestead. Free is my favorite price point. Hers too, man. That girl, we'll be driving down the road, and there'll be a barrel in the ditch. She's like, stop. She actually, one of her rain barrels, she got in a ditch that she hollered at me enough. I finally pulled over, and that little girl got out, climbed down in there, grabbed that 55-gallon drum, carried it up, threw it in the back of the pickup. She absolutely is that. Let me see here. Alan says, I was a lineman for 3 years, and one of my guys had the same size as me. I bought his 18-inch Red Wing lineman boots for $100. I had them for 8 years. Yeah, I can't beat that. Scanes Girl says, nothing wrong with dumpster diving. I carry a grabber just in case. Yeah, that's so my wife. I'm telling you, that is. And guys, you guys know this. I love my wife. She is the most amazing human being I know. And I would stand between her and any harm. And, her life is worth more to me than my own. But the girl is weird, and we go to the dump and she wants to go through it. And if she has no problem walking by a dumpster, and she's just wired that way. God love her, Vicky says the insurance industry tried to make the rates higher on log homes because they think the wood frames would burn quicker. The airspace between drywall walls fuels the fire more than the thick solid wood. I totally agree with that. That makes sense. Coraline, hello. How are you? Welcome. Richard, hello, welcome. T-Paw says, Jasper Mom, I Googled how to put Mr. Dryer belts, put it on all by myself, and you can Google almost anything. Yep. What in the world? My collar, I got a tag back there, and it keeps tickling me. And I don't know if you guys have this, but right now where we're at, the ladybugs are everywhere. If you open a door, they're in your house. I mean, they're just flying everywhere. They're looking for somewhere to go for the winter. And so I've had them on me most of the day. And so I think I'm just, anyway. Deb, geez, late again. Better late than never. Where's B? So B had a top secret mission to save the world. She was here at the very beginning, and then she took off. I would imagine, I don't know if she'll make it. We've been at this an hour and 14 minutes. I don't think she'll make it back before I get off, but she may. But yeah, she had something else that she had to go do. We did not know about it until this morning, and so my choice was to do the live alone. or I could go and B could do it alone, or we were going to cancel the live. But because I had already advertised it and all that stuff, I did not want to. I did not want to cancel it. I'm going to make. Let me see here. There we go. Alan Chase 345 gives you a 90-degree angle. That's right, and it's such a good tool, and it it weighs nothing. It's super simple. Packrat says, I love having hard-wearing waterproof boots for pasture and cross-country bramble jumping alike. Yep, couldn't agree more. Grateful Heart says the 345 is the secret to the universe. It really is. It's how I lay out everything, all of your foundations. And guys, I'm going to tell you, when you're building anything, if you start correct, it's a much easier to end correct. Because if you started a foundation, let's say you're just building a shed and you get that a quarter of an inch out, by the time you get to the peak, you're 2 inches out. So getting that beginning done well will save you so much problems. And that's where the 345 really comes into. Laura says, hope you all have a great night. Thanks. And always for the encouragement, everyone. Oh yeah, for sure, Laura. I hope to talk to you again soon. Corleen says, hey, Type Top, glad to be here. Been real tough 2 weeks, but thankful. Well, I hope everything's okay, Corleen, with you. You say it's been a tough 2 weeks, and I know a few people that it's been, tough, but you hang in there. Let me see here. Let me see where am I at here. Grumpy says she had me keeping my on the construction part of the highway loop. I was to keep an eye out for tools and cabinets. Yeah. Dude, if we drive down the road and my wife sees a cabinet, oh my goodness. It would be on. I would have to pull over. Let me see. Thank you all. If you read my post on freesteading, all I can say is justice was served, and now my friend has custody of her grandson. Yeah, custody battles are so hard. It's so crazy. We got all these little innocents out there, these little kids, and man, they're just brutalized in our country, and I guess really all around the world. And I'm glad to hear that that child is squared away and taken care of. Arthur said, you'd be surprised what you can find in a dumpster behind Harbor Freight. Yeah, no, I wouldn't. My wife does that, and she loves finding stuff like that, so I would not be a bit surprised. Mary says, I learned the 3-4-5 rule from your video. I was able to understand what you were talking about, and I am in the medical field. If it bleeds, I understand. Mechanical, not so much. Thanks, Tag. Yeah, 3-4-5 is a great thing. I'm telling you, if you master that one thing by itself will take you so far. A couple other ones that I would add is a speed square, and you don't even need to know how to use all of it. But if you can use like the degrees and the common pitches, like for a roof pitch, that are on there, that tool, it's a $8 tool I use all the time to find a correct angle. My solar panels out front, how I set those with an $8 speed square. So I'd add that one, a string and a string level I'd put right up there. And again, what's a roll of string? $3 or $4, and a level would be $3 or $4. So almost no money, but those are just critical tools. Marshall's middle name is Tools. Yeah. When he gets on the Snap-on truck, oh no, his eyes glaze over, but he is the same way at yard sales with tools as well. Yeah, that's actually what I like yard sales for, and auctions, especially around here, the hand tools, like a shovel, stuff like that, go for nothing. They'll take a whole bundle of them and stick them together and sell it for $5. And, you walk away with, a rake and, 3 shovels and a sledgehammer and whatever for no money. Let me see. Ladybugs like white and warm. They hibernate in groups. In your house is white, and in the sun they will come in. Yeah, we have a overabundance of them. Jasper's talking to Lucy and says, I would absolutely enjoy that. There's endless things I could learn from you guys. There's endless things all of us could learn from the Terminator. Big B says, did you get your cinnamon rolls? Well, I was actually eating one tonight. Well, I did, but I have to tell you guys something. My wife refuses to make me cherry cobbler. Refuses. And I told her I have not had cherry cobbler in a year. And she's just pulling the hard line, and you guys should feel sorry for me because I do not have any cherry cobbler. Oh, Coraline says, not like that. Her daughter was murdered. Oh, no. That is, I have no idea what it would be like to have your kids die before you. I don't even know. I don't even know what to say, Coraline. I'm so sorry. Prayers for sure. Wow. Mary says, I found the 345 tool at a yard sale after your video. It's already checked off my list. Yep. Packrat, talking to Skanes Girl, said, I saved an old 6-foot long clinker grabber from the coal furnace in my family's house. A jumbo version of the 3-finger claw you get from the dollar store, but with a cast iron end. Oh, that'd be nice to have. Coraline says, but justice was served. Just, I like that you said justice was served, but I don't know how justice is ever served in that. Right? Because, that poor child, I mean, they'll have to deal with that forever. The punishment can't be harsh enough, in my opinion. Let me see here. Stair runners is something a lot of people get tripped up on. Are you talking about the carpet, that runs up there? Well, I'll tell you, I'm running a little giveaway right now on my YouTube channel, giving away a stapler or a hive, which, by the way, the stapler's winning right now. It's not by much, but the tag gift is winning, and you could certainly staple the stair runner down on that. Lucy says, I love dump hunting. Here where I live, they have free stuff in a shed. You can help yourself. Yeah, I would love to do that here in a community. Find a piece of land, kind of between us all, and all your excess building materials and plumbing and all this stuff you could just put there so the homesteads around you could use it. I would love to do that. Skanes Girl to Packrat said, I would love that. Wish my dad was around. He was awesome at building tools like that. Yeah, I'd love to have that. Alan Chase says, I actually bought a storage unit full of tools for $50. Ended up selling most of it for about $7.50. Yeah, that didn't hurt you at all, did it? Yeah, we all love the Terminator. Just so you know. Carl Price says, I've been meaning to tell you my bull is named Tag because of a white patch on his head that looks like a price tag. Yep, Tag, you're it. That's cool. Well, I hope that your bull is a successful bull because he shares my name. Deb says, when does the poor woman have time to make cherry cobbler? Oh my goodness. Seriously? That girl is on constant vacation. I'm telling you, she's always harvesting and playing with the bees. And you guys seen her up on the roof that day. She was just laying there, just, playing with the drills, not doing anything. I think that she could find time to make cherry cobbler. Alan Chetz says, I still have not had one of Bee's cinnamon rolls. Yeah, Alan, we'll have to fix that. Hopefully we'll see each other sometime. We'll make that happen. Grumpy Acre said, I'm glad you have that issue with ladybugs. I was having a talk with Grumpy, and sad to say, thinking of some type of poison. Don't tell Bee. Oh no, Bee will have none of it. We're just gonna have to deal with it. She ain't poisoning nothing. She, you know how she is, Yoda. I don't even need to tell you. Big B says, copy that tag. We'll hint at the cobbler next time. See, guys, how hard was that? Look, Big B gets it. Guys, let me tell you something. And this is to all you ladies out there. I'm going to tell you a secret. The way to a man's heart is in his stomach. And baked goods are amazing. Just have to say it. Jasper's mom says, prayers to Coraline. Yes, absolutely prayers. I have some understanding. I haven't lost a child, but my mother lost her son, my brother. It's not something anyone should have to go through. No, horrible. Oh, Arthur says, no, figuring the cuts on a stair runner. Oh, yeah. I don't know how you would do that. I mean, you could do it with a carpenter square, but a speed square makes it so much easier. Yeah. To do the treads and the rise and the pitch and all of those kind of things. Yeah. And when I'm building stairs, I just run a string from the top of one point down to the floor, wherever I want them to end, take my speed square out and say, oh, that's a 30-degree angle. And off we run. So sorry, Arthur, I misunderstood you. Coraline says, I agree, but at least she now has her grandson from the guy who did it. It's bittersweet, but he's in jail now. Happened a few hours ago. We've been waiting since October 8th, so lots of prayers went up. God, you and I'd want to say, Coraline, congratulations, but it's not. That's horrible. Nobody won, and the person that's going to pay the biggest price is that poor child. I'm so sorry. I mean, absolute prayers, RN says ladybugs are supposed to help with the bad bugs in the garden. Yeah, that's what B says. Hey, special operations equipment, John. Hello. I don't think I've ever seen you on here. How are you, big dog? I think I'll get me some cherry cobbler. Yeah, I've been on it with trying to get my wife to make me some cherry cobbler forever, but she's a lollygagger who's always on vacation, and so she has not made me cherry cobbler. So I encourage everyone who's on here that when normally my wife's on here, but she couldn't be here today. But I encourage them to help me harass her to get me baked goods. So it's been, John, about cinnamon rolls, but I got my cinnamon rolls. And so now we're moving on to cherry cobblers because I don't want to live in the past, and the cinnamon rolls are in the past. Hey, for any of you guys who don't know special operations equipment, if you go to the website, Special Operations Equipment, I'm going to tell you they make the best tactical gear in the world. And I have it myself. It is American made. It's made in the, like-minded people. John's the guy that puts on the Self-Reliance Expo in Camden, Tennessee. And, they're doing it for all the right reasons. But this is absolutely a company you guys should go and patronize. And I'm speaking, I did it. And will continue to do so. So, John, I'm glad you're here. Coraline says, on a better note, Alan now is a proud owner of a 2022 Kubota tractor. He's so excited. Yeah, I would like to have a 2022 Kubota tractor. Ruth in Georgia's backyard garden says, hello, wifey seems like a hard worker from the videos. Yeah, guys, I torture her, but she works all the time. I'm going to tell you guys, and I probably shouldn't tell you this because you guys will harass me about it, but I'll tell you anyway. So every single morning, 100% of the mornings, my wife is up 30 minutes before I am, and she gets up and makes me coffee, and then I get out of bed. Every single day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'm a pretty lucky guy. Let me see. American Root says, Yoda, my split leaf has a root. The rooting hormone worked like a charm. Thank you. Awesome. I was actually looking forward to hearing some of that stuff coming back. And this is really good, Yoda. It's really good for you to hear too, right? Got to love those success stories. Deborah Jones says, now that I know I could get stung through a bee suit, I may want to change to the stapler. Yeah, but here's the thing, Deborah, with bees is that every time I've been stung through my bee suit, which by the way is once, and it was in the nose, it's because I did it. I allowed that to happen to get close to them. If you don't do that, you're not going to get stung. And here's the other thing. I mow over by the bees all the time. And if you don't bother them, they won't bother you. Katie K says, it's true. My husband is constantly begging for biscuits. Well, you can't blame him, right? I mean, you just can't blame him. Jess Mom says, hey, Tag, there's always Google if you want cherry cobbler. Touche. Okay, Jasper's mom. Here's the thing. As I do want cherry cobbler, but I want cherry cobbler made by my wife's hands, which is something I cannot Google because she does it with such love and expression, right? I mean, she hands me these baked goods and they're just dripping with love. I can't get that on Google. Oh my goodness, did I just blow right by all those? Packrat, there we go. Packrat says, I voted for the stapler myself, plus getting to keep the hive would make me smile, and who doesn't like that? Yeah, I agree. Now, if it was between a Milwaukee stapler and her cinnamon rolls, I'd still take the Milwaukee stapler because it's a tool, but don't tell her I said that. Grumpy Acre says, no soup for you, no cherry cobbler either until the Wallapini is done. Well, you know what's funny about that is that let's bet whether or not I get cherry cobbler before the Wallapini's done. What do you want to bet? How about a signed dollar bill, Grumpy Acres? Okay, if the Wallapini is done before the cherry cobbler, as you wish, I will sign a dollar bill that says I am not worthy in Grumpy Acres rules. But if I get cherry cobbler before the Wallapini gets built, you owe me the dollar that says the same thing. Do we have a deal? And don't chicken out, right? Alan says, Coraline, I don't have a tractor, but if you are giving one away, I can accept. Yeah, no doubt. I would do that too. Grumpy Acre said, nice. You had me a little scared. Glad it's going great. Yep. Super cool. American Root says, so I am skill building with sourdough starter and Joe is loving life. Tomorrow is sourdough pancakes. See, what's so hard about that? I need to put sourdough pancakes on the list. Thank you, Jess. I'm going to tell B when she gets home that you suggested that she make sourdough pancakes. And that if she really loved me, she would make sourdough blueberry pancakes. Oh, Jess, you are so smart. I'm going to tell her. Deb says, tag, you are so spoiled. Yeah, I am pretty spoiled. Grateful Heart says, and tag tends to burn the kitchen down. So there's that too. Yeah, I'm not allowed in the kitchen. Yeah, I don't know. I think I told you guys the egg story. It was rough. Coraline says he has an L251, 250 or 2501. It's small and it was used, had 14 hours on it. Yeah, that's not very used. Jasper Mom says, tag, your wife was putting a roof on. You can Google it, laugh out loud. Well, that's what she says she was doing. But what I think she was doing is laying up there watching YouTube. That's what I think. Jonathan says we won't have to tell her she can watch the replay. Oh, yeah, I probably didn't think that one all the way through, did I, Jonathan? Hippocrates, let me back up. Jonathan, let me tell you one of the greatest things about B is she has an amazing sense of humor. Like, I can joke with B about anything. And she pretty much just, plugs along and, whatever it is. And so she'll be just fine. Hippocrates says, oh my goodness. Hippocrates says, my theory, bees stinging is they communicate via pheromones. Yep, I agree with this. Humans also emit pheromones. I think our fear and nervous pheromone is similar enough to their attack one that they go on that. There might be a whole lot to that, Hippocrates, because what's interesting is when bee is in the hives, they're a lot more mellow than when I'm there. As soon as I show up, it's a whole new thing. Now, in fairness, she's in the hives, 5 to my 1, right? I only go over there to help her harvest honey because they're heavy, but there might be a lot to that. Vicky says, now we know why she didn't want to make cinnamon rolls. Sounds like she's been down this road before. Yeah. Vicky, she has been down this road for a long time. And I'm going to tell you, as soon as I get the cherry cobbler, we will be on to the next gig. Let me see here. Home Again Homestead, hello. Just finished pulling my bedroom rug after a direct hit from Hurricane Ian. Pulling down ceilings tomorrow. I could go for some cherry cobbler too. Oh my gosh, you could go for some cherry cobbler. Hey, I'm curious, Home Again Homestead. So do you guys have any kind of community that can come get together and help you guys do that stuff down there? Is there anybody down there like that? Because, man, that'd be so much easier if you had a bunch of help. John says, I've heard that bees can get used to you if you spend some time around the hives and talk and are calm. Then the times you disturb the hives are less stressful. Yeah. Jonathan, I can't, I was just talking about that a little bit ago. Again, when bee does it, they're way, way, way more mild. As soon as I show up, they get a lot more angry. Now, I have not figured out, is that because I'm showing up? Or is that because by the time I'm getting there, I'm doing the heavy lifting? So I'm tearing the hives apart. B doesn't do that much because they're heavy, and so she piddles around them. But when I actually pull them all the way apart, it's me. So I don't know which one it is, but it would certainly make some sense. Miley Mason says, what is update on freesteading? Well, we just changed the forums a whole bunch. That just went live just the other day. I'm still playing with the app. The Android app works fine. The iOS app does not work so fine. We're having a messaging issue. Working on that. What did I not cover? Oh, the marketplace. So actually, if you guys, there's a video coming out tomorrow. I think it's tomorrow, where I'm going through the forums. But if you pause the video and look really, really close at the top of my screen that I'm showing you, you'll see a tab that says marketplace. It's not on your guys's, it's just on mine. But we've been playing with the marketplace, but I just don't have it all figured out. And I'm still waiting on some of the attorney stuff to come back on the terms of service and some of that kind of stuff. So we're just kind of trying to work through it. I agree, Jonathan. When I am picking flowers and I see a bee, I just say, okay, this one's for you. And they don't bother me. Yeah. It's funny. Away from the hives, they don't bother us at all either. I agree. Jasper Mom says, that's why I love you and B. You two are so cute and your sense of humor is perfect. Y'all remind me of everything I loved growing up. Oh, I love my wife. I absolutely love my wife. She's my very best friend in the entire world. And, I joke with her all the time. And she is a weird chick. There's times I look at her like, Did you just get hit in the head? But she's just an amazing lady. Grumpy Acres says, American Roots, you have to stay tough. We need support to keep growing through the winter. Stay strong, sister. Yep, amen. Alan says, Jonathan, I do agree. Bee get used to you if you are around them. That's why I used to sit next to or in front of the hive and just watch them like a fish tank. Boy, and aren't they fascinating, Alan? I think it's interesting when they hold hands, when she's pulling the hives apart or taking, one of the frames out and all the little bees are holding hands. I also think how they carry their dead away is interesting. There's just a lot of that kind of stuff that I think is just super cool. Lucy says, I'm back. My internet was glitching, so I'm on my phone. Well, welcome back. Hippocrates says, I want to move to horizontal hives in some form. Too old and short for Langstroth. Yeah, we use I call them space hives because they don't fall apart. I am so tired of replacing wooden hives. I won't buy them ever again. They're not that much difference in money, and but I don't do the horizontal hives. I have no experience with them, but I wish B was here to talk about that. Teepaw says, do I go to Google Play Store for the Android app? No, it's not available on any of them. But if you want, Teepaw, send me an email and I'll get you the app and you can play with it. But understand it's not done. There's still functions that don't work and those kind of things. But if a couple of you want to play with it, tag and be at lifedonefree.com. I can get you guys the app. Jonathan says, foraging bees versus bees at the hive are going to behave a lot differently, though. The ones always in my basil never respond to me no matter what I do. Maybe you're not speaking the right language, Jonathan. Have you tried French? Try speaking to them in French. Home Again Homestead. I just connected with a fellow homesteader this week, but haven't had a chance to meet up. We're going to try to meet this week, but right now family is pitching in to help each other out. Yeah, that's awesome. I couldn't imagine going through what you guys went through. Man, that was rough. I was watching some of the pictures just thinking, those poor people, bees live in a perfect community. They really kind of do. Everybody's got a role and they'll give their life for that role. And it's amazing what they do, and, just like today, we harvested their honey from them and they went, pretty mellow, but, they were definitely interested in keeping their honey. Vicky says bees have a DEFCON system. When doing an inspection, listen to their buzzing. The more agitated they get, the more intense their buzzing will be. Oh yeah, for sure. They get louder as you go along. I'm not really the beekeeper. Bee is. I'm more of the laborer. So I go over there and carry stuff for her. But she says the same thing. Today when we were over there, she said, smell that? I'm like, smell what? She goes, you smell how these two hives smell different? I'm like, you're crazy. But they really did smell different. Alan Chase, yes, tag. Bee stings or bridges are so intriguing. Yeah, I didn't know they called them bridges, but the strings are just, to me, are just amazing how they do that. They just all hold their own little hands, just so cool. Jess is saying, or American Roots is saying, tag, Grumpy is telling me to stay strong and not feed you cherry cobbler next time I see you. That's okay. You know what? They Grumpy Acres can lobby for whatever that they want to lobby for, but in the end, they will lose. In the end, I will win. I can assure you 100% of the time that Yoda is going to owe me a signed dollar bill. And that's just the way that's going to be. And I'll make you a deal too. I will update you guys on this live and I will show you the dollar bill that I get from Yoda, because Yoda's good for her word. And when I get cherry cobbler prior to the Wallapini. Because let me tell you guys a little secret. I'll go tell B, I really want to go work on your Wallapini, but I'm not doing anything until you give me cherry cobbler. It'll work just fine. Jonathan says the series of bee videos that Doug did on Doug and Stacy channel were really great. Learned a lot about the horizontal hives there. I'd like to try them if I can get into beekeeping. Yeah, Jonathan, I'm telling you what, Bee is a good resource. And, one thing that Bee really needs in her life is she could use a beekeeping buddy. Someone who just loved bees, and because Bee loves them, to death. And she's got some help out there. Yoda comes help sometimes. And, she's had Pippin and some of the other, ladies come down. But I'm talking about someone who just absolutely loves everything about a bee, Vicky says the bees do not want to sting you as their stingers attached to their insides. So they are committing harikari, when they sting you, they only sting as a last resort. Yeah, super well said. Corleen says, Alan wants to know how far away your bees are from your house. They're 1,400 feet away. We are on two different kind of sides of my property, it's about 1,600 feet across. And so they're about 1,400, I would argue, maybe a little less, 1,300 feet across, but we see them all the time. I think they say that the bee travels about 2 miles. It's kind of their, area of operations. Let me see. Grumpy Acres says, Hippocrates Farm, bee is babysitting our hive. I would never do that again. The wax is great. The honey is not. Yeah. I have long hair and forget to tie my hair up, and a bee was caught in my hair, and I am not sure who was more upset, me or the bee. Yeah, well, I would bet you that you were probably more upset. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, guess what, guys? Bee is pulling in the driveway, so we actually might get her up here, and we can have a cherry cobbler adventure. Let me see here. I don't know why these Tinder, hot, best adult dating site stuff it comes up. I don't know why. Anyway, Packard said, B said the new plastic hives are lighter. Do they get brittle in the sun? That's the thing I'd be concerned about. More a hive than the thing just crumbles from UV. Okay, so we're warping in the heat. So here's the thing. So we've had our oldest plastic, and they're not really plastic. They're kind of a cross between like a rubber and a styrofoam. But anyway, we've had our oldest hives 3 years old now. So when B started beekeeping, I bought our wood hives. And within 2 years, I was replacing components of the wood hives. So the plastic or space hives is what I call them. They've been out there 3 years and have no degradation. They're not peeling. They're not. And so we paint them and put them out there. But we've had no problems with them swelling. We've had no problems with the bottoms falling apart or the water deteriorating them. And I think the difference between them and a complete other hive was like $20 or $30. And so we've had no problem with them. I'll never go back. I'm telling you that and there's so much more to them than that. It's not even just that. It's that they are, they snap together perfectly versus kind of perfectly on a wooden hive. They have these snaps that kind of lock them into, which is super, super nice. They're insulated. So the walls are, maybe 1.5 inches thick. Think of a styrofoam, right? So 1.5 inches thick, great insulation for the bees, keeps them through the winter better. Just Packard, I would never go back. Jasper Mom says, dang, Corleen and Yoda grabbing the porn bots before I can even see them. Good. Thank you, guys. I don't know why they do that. Like, it makes no sense. Like, this is not the type of people that are going to typically click on a porn site. But then again, what do I know? Skanes Girl says, I suspect the bees I see here belong to my cousin's hive down the road. They sell honey. Yeah, they say they travel about 2 miles. Yep, we're on it. Let me see. Teapot says, Grumpy Acres, tell B I'll give her more money to say no. Tell B I'll give her more money to say no. Yeah. Yeah. If she gets up here, we'll have to just ask her how. And, I won't give her any, I won't cheat. But we'll play with it a little bit. Hippocrates Garden says ingredients: 1/4 cup butter, 1 cup all-purpose flour, cup of white sugar, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, 1 cup milk, and 1 can of cherry pie filling. Jasper Mom says they're all bots. Yeah, I know. It just drives me crazy. Grumpy Acres, laugh out Teapot. She will do what she wants. Yes, she will. Because that is my beautiful bride. Arthur says, Tag, have you done any research on the new hive that lets you drain the honey without opening the hive? Yeah, I've looked into it, but I think, and I could be wrong, but I think it's more of a fishing lure designed to catch fishermen. I don't see how that works. I've looked into it and all of that, but I don't see how that works. I mean, how does it decap them, and how does it just seems like it'd be very inefficient, Arthur, to me. B, you get a comment to that?
To what? I didn't listen.
To the hives that you just open a valve and the honey flows out.
The flow hive.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can get in and maintenance them.
That's a good point. Like checking for mites and stuff.
Mites and beetles and moths and just all of or it's checking for your queen, checking for eggs, checking for larvae, making sure you have all the stages of fun.
Let me see here. Good night, Lucy. Oh yeah, everyone's saying hello. The bee's here. How are you, baby?
Hi.
How did your adventure go? Did you save the world?
Yes, the world will be fine.
Was it fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of toasty in here.
Yeah. So we were
doing exercises.
We were.
Here.
So we
Seems
were
like
we were
it.
talking about cherry cobbler tonight.
Oh, who?
Well, all of us were talking about it pretty much. We were.
Nuh-uh.
Yeah, we were. We really, really were. See, and everyone's saying hi, by the way. You know, Corleen says hi.
Hello,
America
freedom
Root says hi.
friends.
Yep. Grumpy says you have to say no to cherry cobbler.
Yeah.
RN says hello, B. Please teach B about. Please teach about bees and etc. in a video. Yeah, we've got a bee video coming out. We're going to show you guys from opening the hive, the entire process of taking the honey from there all the way to the final product, and we're working on that now. We filmed the over at the hives, etc. JB wants to know when the contest ends. So the contest we were going to run was for our 5,000 subscribers, and as of right now, oops. Let me get out of here real quick here. I'll tell you right at this very moment. I didn't have it pulled up. I'm at 4,907. So the contest will end when I have 93 more subscribers. So real quick, I want to get back to the cherry cobbler real quick.
Oh, I thought we were talking about bees.
No, we were. But we'll get back to the bees. But real quick, what we had a bunch of discussion in here about it, and there was some thoughts, like from example, Yoda and them, who thought that the line needs to be drawn that the Wallapini should be built first.
Mm.
And then there's other people saying no, if that B loves Tag, and that if Tag wants cherry cobbler, she'll make him cherry cobbler.
Oh, I thought you got somebody to make you some.
No. I want it to come from the love of my wife's hands.
Oh, it's not the same thing?
No, it's not even close to the same thing.
It still fills your belly.
Yeah. So are you going to make me wait until the Wallapini is done before I get cherry cobbler?
I don't know.
What do you mean? You have to make a commitment tonight because there's a bet on it.
No, because I don't know how long it's going to take for the. I mean, is it going to be 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years for the Wallapini? So I need to know.
It's going to be 2 years.
Okay, well then you'll probably get some kind of cobbler before then.
So I will get cherry cobbler prior to the Wallapini.
Probably.
I mean, because you'll make me what I want because you love me.
Typically.
Right? And you want me to be happy?
For the most part.
Do you ever want me to not be happy?
No, I always want you to be happy.
Okay, and if cherry cobbler makes me happy, you'll make me cherry cobbler?
Not necessarily. Not necessarily.
Oh my God. Okay. So back to bees. So Hippocrates Garden says flow hive, first, the cost. Second, if you can't clean the wax out, it will get old. Concentrate to the toxins, and the cells will get smaller if the brood is ever raised in it. If it was good, beekeepers would use it.
Right.
Teepaw says, hi, B, let's go drive around rich neighborhoods on trash day and see what we can find.
I'd do that.
Teepaw, you rock.
Look at this perfectly good table.
Oh, that was just great, Teepaw. You absolutely cracked me up. Alan says, hello, B. Grumpy Acre says, B, stick with me here. So just under full disclosure, and I said I wouldn't cheat, but the problem is that Yoda already did. So Yoda came on there and said, you have to stick with her side of the story. So we have a signed dollar bill bet.
On what?
So Yoda took the deal that you will make me wait until the Wallapini is complete before I get cherry cobbler. And I took the bet that you will make me cherry cobbler prior to the Wallapini being built.
Oh, I don't know. It is like holiday season, so that's like when the baking begins. So it's like
Packrat says, plus B tells us you are a thrifty recycler and a dumpster diver.
That I am.
Yeah, you totally are.
I would dive into a dumpster for the right deal for sure.
Yeah, Packrat says a lady after Packrat's own heart.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know the name Packrat.
Right. Yes, we call it Tetris.
Yeah. Grumpy Acre says, B, wait, he is setting you up. No. No, I'm not setting her up. I'm just simply stating the facts. We had a signed dollar bill bet. All these wonderful people can attest to it. I bet I'd get it before the Wallapini. You bet that I wouldn't.
Yeah, the
And-
Wallapini is not going to be done anytime in the near future. That
Da-
it is like on the list, but it is like down a ways.
Deb says, stay strong, B.
I am strong.
Vicky says, watch the recorded chat. B, lots of discussions on cherry cobbler, both sides of the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. She'll watch it tomorrow. We'll be out working and she'll watch the whole thing, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Packrat said the flow hive designs are based on a patent that dates into the 1940s, rendered in aluminum. So don't feel bad about trying a knockoff version from overseas. Dolores says, come in there, B. Hello. Grumpy Acre says, I hope it's like leather. You would hope it was like leather.
What?
The cherry cobbler.
Mm.
Coraline
That's not very
says, y'all are so sweet. I have to say hands down, y'all are my favorite channel. Oh, thank you. She's the sweet one. Alan says, Hippo, I don't serve primarily for others. I serve others to build network and friends development. Amen. So I serve for selfish reasons. Well, I get that, though. There's nothing wrong with that. Dana says, you know the lady is Queen Bee, right? I'll do her bidding. Yeah. What's your shirt say? Oh, yoke up? I thought maybe you had a Queen Bee shirt on.
No.
Okay. Teepaw said, that's all I do when we go to see family in Michigan. Trash days are great.
Uh-huh.
I was telling them the story about how we pulled over on the side of the road to get your rain barrel.
Yeah.
We were driving up to Nebraska that day. Remember that?
Yeah. I get that from my dad. My dad found some good deals on the side of the road.
Coraline says, I'm a dumpster diver for sure. I've gotten some great things from a dumpster and from the dump. I was telling about the
Berkey?
the Berkey that you found up there. B, there's no shame. We are obviously sisters. I've been shopping the green store for years.
The green store.
Okay, so Leela's on here, who is Packrat's wife.
Okay.
Okay. And it says Packrat's wife says his handle is an understatement. RN said it's been a long day. You all have a good night and a blessed week. Yep. See you,
Good
RN.
night.
Vicky says at least cobbler's much easier than cinnamon rolls. Making
The
it.
cobbler. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hours worth of easier.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you can get like any flavor.
Yeah.
Cobbler.
I want cherry.
Not blueberry?
No, I want cherry. I'm just
Oh, because then it will be, yeah. So it'll be cherry and then for one serving. And then it will be blueberry for one serving.
uh-huh.
And then
I'll
homemade
probably
donuts.
no, that'll be something in the middle and then blueberry. Like a
Like
strawberry
a
rhubarb
donut.
pie.
Right.
And then blueberry. Because
Yes.
I won't do
You
cobbler
won't
back.
do two cobblers
cobbler
back to back.
No.
Right. No, then you'll go back to cinnamon rolls.
Right. Then we'll be back to cinnamon rolls. Judette says, hum. Hippocrates Garden says, I claim plausible deniability. American Roots says, if the cherry cobbler is left to proof for an entire day, it might be like leather. Laugh out loud.
Yeah.
We can't be sabotaging my cherry cobbler.
We didn't sabotage no, it's never sabotage.
Okay,
It's
good.
just like, oh, hey, we didn't have time. Let's finish it tomorrow.
Mhm.
Oh, no.
But you agree that you have time to do it if you wanted to.
It just depends. Are we going to like invite a bunch of people over in the middle and be
Well,
like,
let
"Hey,
me
get it done."
rephrase it. Let me say it a different way. So we all make time for the things that are most important. Would you agree?
For the most part.
And that whatever our priorities are at any given time.
For the most part.
And so what you're saying is that I can tell where I'm at in the pecking order in your priority list based upon
It
those
just
kind of things.
it sometimes that is true and sometimes it is not. Like,
Katie K said my dad was a dumpster diver too.
Yeah.
Hey Mandy. What'd you miss? B's getting ready to make me some cherry cobbler.
Do you know another bee?
No, I don't know another B. It's just you.
Oh.
Can Squatch thumbs up. Yep. Leather shoemaker is called a cobbler.
Thank you, Vicky. That's funny.
Mandy says so much to do prepping the garden for fall and winter. Yeah, I am super happy that for us at least, gardening's over for the year. Now we got a lot of preserving to do, but there's just so much to do all the time. And the garden took B out of the whole rotation this year a lot because we grew a big garden. And so she was up there primarily. And so a lot of the other things we didn't get to. So I'm actually looking kind of forward to the winter to being able to get back to some of those other kind of things. Deb says, B, he said you had plenty of time to make it because you were always on vacation. Tell him you're always on vacation. Confirm it.
Sometimes.
You have nothing more to say than that?
Sometimes I'm working.
Yeah. But you live your vacation.
I live my vacation.
So you're always on vacation.
Not necessarily.
Yoda says, farm life gets away. Don't be a turd. You know what, Yoda? I don't know any other way. And, it's fun. And, it's like we'll be out working and it'll be stressful and it'll be, a long, hard day or whatever it is. And I'll start just harassing her about cherry cobbler or about, whatever it is. And it just makes the day go by. And guys, I'm telling you, she is not harmless at all. She pokes it right back. And just like she just said, you know another bee? Like I ain't doing it. Grateful Heart said, Tag, I think you could sell a homestead rotation for a cherry pie. I bet I could.
Oh, probably.
Mm-hmm. I think actually what we should do, maybe we could do a homestead rotation, a small one. Okay. Hear my idea out. A small one, like let's say 12 people. Okay. 6 boys, 6 girls.
Where are you going with this? And we'll all sit and watch sports ball while you guys make us food.
Yes, we'll make, we'll do a huge, I'll go get a whole bunch of cherries and we can can.
It is not cherry season. You are out of luck. Sorry. You'll have to wait till next year. Cherries have done come and gone.
Man.
Unless you want that canned stuff. You need canned stuff and sprinkle some oatmeal on top of it. Throw it in the oven.
No, listen. If I wanted the canned stuff, I would just go buy cherry cobbler.
Done.
It's like a cookie. I can go buy a cookie.
Yeah.
But
it is not the same.
It is not the same. Thank you. Okay. Dana Green says thumbs up to garage sales.
Yeah.
Jonathan says all 5 of my horseradish roots have leaves now.
Good. Wonderful.
Yep. Mandy also likes garage sales. Maybe we could do, let's pick a Topeka, Kansas, whenever they do their weekend garage sales and have a homestead rotation and 10 of you go drive around to garage sales all day. That'd be fun.
The whole purpose of doing a homestead rotation is to get the work done, not to go garage selling.
Well, but isn't that kind of getting work done? You're collecting tools, you're honing your bartering skills.
No, I don't need to have 12 people over to go garage sailing.
Okay. T-Paw says, I plan a girl festival. Who's in? Yeah, that'd be fun. You all could sit around and make me cherry cobbler.
Nope.
Missy Skanes girl says, Jonathan, planting my horseradish tomorrow. Any tips? Yes, we have a bet on this. I'm going to build a community to help you not get cobbler. That's Yoda. Yoda thinks that she can stop you from making me cobbler.
Oh, yeah.
Alan says he's up for the rotation. Yeah. I love doing the rotations, guys. I love just getting together with a bunch of people. And we'll get working on another one here pretty quick. I got to, maybe we'll wait till the spring. I don't know.
To do another one here?
Yeah,
what are you talking about?
Pick another project. Yeah. Or maybe there'll be another homestead out there that could use our help. Nowhere Homestead or Hacks for the Homestead or whoever,
Grasshopper.
Yeah. Jonathan says, Dana Green, I've been hitting garage sales this year for like the first time in my life. I really found some great deals. Hard to resist buying junk. I don't need just because of a good price. So just because it's on sale don't mean it's a good deal, Jonathan?
Yeah. No, but he needs it. And he has all those rooms that are empty. Like, just start filling them. Tetris. It's like home. It's like real life Tetris.
Mandy says we harvested a lot of sweet potatoes, Mark's favorite. So we're we're thinking of some sweet potato pie.
Yep.
Hippocrates says Azure Standard has cherries.
Come on now, no.
Thank you. And
you could probably buy them by the case there too.
And you have
and
Azure
they'll
Standard.
deliver them.
Yeah, and you've done this, right?
Yes, I have. And they would be really good, probably too. They'd probably set you back a couple $100.
But think of all you could just can the cherry filling, right?
Yeah, you can.
And just can a whole bunch of jars.
And you could just freeze the cherries. Like, make what you're going to and then just freeze them.
Mm-hmm.
You like frozen cherries, right? Mm-hmm. Better than canned?
Way better than canned, yeah.
Yeah, that's
yeah. So does that mean you're going to put an order in at Azure Standard?
I can try. I don't know if they have them right now.
But you're going to look?
Maybe. I need gallon jars anyway.
So if I go get you gallon jars, will you go and get me cherries?
The gallon jars are not for the cherries.
What are they for?
You understand this.
No, I thought a gallon of cherries would be awesome.
Oh, no.
What are the gallon jars for?
For dry goods.
And where were you going to get them at?
Azure Standard has gallon jars.
So order some gallon jars, and while you're at it, get some cherries.
That's what I'm saying. Oh my gosh.
See, look at that.
Can I use your account?
Yes, you can. Okay. Let me see. Coraline says, I'm up for the garage sale and Alan can help tag work.
Oh, sure. I can take her garage sale.
Yeah, right.
I'll help the community and take her garage sale.
Yeah. Grubby says that would be a waste of gas.
To go garage selling?
Deb says Tag smiles more when B is there. Anyone else notice how Tag perked up?
Aww.
It was purely because of the cherries. Let's not confuse things. Oh, man, you got Danny Green. Good point on meeting people. Yep. B, here's a word for you. Google. Oh, yeah, that was fun. Me and Jasper went back and forth about Google today. You'll have to watch it. It was fun. Jonathan said to Skanesville, I got roots from B, drove them 950 miles south, 2 or 3 days out of the dirt, stuck them in my garden, and they are reviving now after 2 weeks. I'll put a pickup on freestanding. Yeah, super cool.
Good. And then soon you'll have a whole patch.
Yep.
A whole patch of horseradish.
Pack Rat says, and swing by the Mennonites Amish to pick up baked goods along with garage selling if you have some plain folk nearby. We do.
Yep.
Yep, we do. Actually, one of the best Amish communities around us is up by Tabletop Farm.
Hey, so you know that when we went to the Midwest Preparedness Festival, do you remember the Amish lady that had the
baked goods
on the highway? I stopped and got her phone number.
Did you?
Yeah, she said that she makes orders on the just whatever. Like, you just call her and tell her what you want, and she will order it. Or she will just order it, and she will make it.
Yeah, how cool is that? I
bet she makes cherry cobbler.
Right.
I'll bring you the cherries.
Yeah. Yep. Some are chatty and lovely people. Yep. Tabletop Farm says we're looking forward to the next rotation. Yeah, I don't know when the next one is. Maybe it's you guys's, but anybody that wants to get involved in the rotation that can pull it off, I think it's just an absolute wonderful thing.
Yeah, they got a building going up soon.
Yeah, and we'd be super happy to help. Skanes Girl said, thanks to Jonathan, ordered mine online. Used some to make fire cider and planting after a week. Yep. T-Paw says, tools tag or cherry cobbler? Tools. Not even close. Because the fact of the matter is, I can go buy a $4 piece of cherry cobbler anytime I want to. We have a little grocery store not far from us that does a lot of bakery stuff. And I could go do that. But I just love my wife baking for me. Just love it. Vicky says she loves Tetris. I actually like Tetris too. But it's got to be the original one. I know you're referring to that, but.
I thought she was talking about the closet.
Yeah. Have you seen your closet? It's Tetris.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't open the door.
Yoda says, I've been holding out. I have cherries in the freezer. Please don't do it.
Holding out.
Yeah,
Cherry
she's
cobbler?
so what she's saying is that she's been holding out on the cherries. She's had them the whole time.
Oh,
What do you call that when someone holds out? A prude? She's a cherry prude? Am I saying that right? Yoda the cherry prude? Mandy Garrett said, "Are frozen cherries, are they retaining more nutrition than canning?" I would say yes.
they're less mushy, I think.
Well, but you're not cooking them, right? When you're not heating up
cooking them. Yeah.
So I would say they'd be more nutritious.
I don't know if the freezing process changes the nutritional value or not.
Let me see. Skanes Girl said, "I've been working on a way to vacuum seal gallon pickle jars. I picked up 50 of them for $1 each." Oh yeah, that's a good deal. Porterhouse and Till says, "Got to go tag. Great live stream as always. Hold the line." Yep, hold the line. Thank you for coming. Mandy Garrett says, "Good for you for loving Tetris. It drives me crazy. Laugh out loud."
Can't you use the pickle? Can't you vacuum seal the pickle jars with the lids? The brake bleeder. Boop 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 boop.
Yeah, probably. Hey, did you know that remember Mary Michelle? Remember we talked to her from?
Yes.
Yep, remember her? She just wanted to let you know that she did the checking for you, and Azure does have cherries.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Mm-hmm. We're getting closer to cobbler.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Packard says frozen cherries, $42.50 for 5 pounds from Azure Standard.
5 pounds.
My wife looked it up. 5 pounds would make me enough cherry cobbler.
It barely make you a cherry cobbler because you have to taste every cherry to make sure that they're good.
Amen. Corleen says, "Alan and I help with a food drive twice a month through our church, and the need is so real and getting bigger and bigger. I went to the grocery store for seasoning and the shelves were empty." I think we're going to see more and more of this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely more and more. I'm concerned about it. You see, Mandy says, "What is yoke up? What does it mean on B's shirt?" So in here, in the discussion here is American Roots Farm, and it's a term they use. And the way they explained it to me was yoking up was like the yoke of an animal harness, like you yoke your horses together or your cows together to pull a wagon. And so yoking up refers to building a community, Mandy. Katie K says, "What's a rotation?" So a rotation is where a bunch of homesteads come together. They pick a weekend. We just did one. Katie K, if you go back to my videos, just a couple of them ago, there was one called Homestead Rotation. It's where we all get together and do a project. This one, we would put up firewood, but sometimes it's, standing a barn or it's, whatever it is, but it's just a bunch of homesteads coming together to get some work done. And then once you've participated in a homestead, then you can ask for a rotation and then we will all come to you. Now, I'm not going to drive to Florida to do a homestead rotation, but if it's in our neck of the woods somewhere, then we'll do it. But hopefully as communities grow, this will happen all over the country. Miley says, "Sounds like we got to plant some cherry trees." Yeah. How many cherry trees do we plant?
Oh my gosh, a lot.
30?
There was more than that.
Yeah, a bunch.
Because we bought 100 and then we distributed amongst everybody. Okay. But some of them were just the tiniest little.
Alan says, "Tag and B and the rest of the community. My wife is calling from Tanzania." Good night, buddy. Go do that. That's much more important than what we're doing. Eagle Lover Texas said, "Sorry, Tag and B for being late. Been canning apples all week." Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, do me a favor, Eagle Lover Texas. Can you send me a sit rep on the other stuff that we were working on? Just so I kind of know where we're at, or if you're waiting on me or kind of where we're at, because I don't have any idea. Vicky says she just got a great deal on 6 Barbados cherry trees. Yeah, I love that. Arthur says vacuum chamber for big jars. I think that's what you were talking about, right?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Todd said, "Did you get a chance to look into the parallel economy? And if so, what are your thoughts?" Todd, this is such an interesting topic, and it's something that's pretty new to me from, the perspective of alternative economies and parallel economies and that. So I read about it almost, I don't say every day, but pretty much every day. I've got another video that I'm working on in reference to starving the beast and that separate economy. But yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of thoughts on it. Maybe we just need to do a video on it. Packrat says, Heidi at Rain Country, her husband makes the brake bleeder vacuum chambers. Don't know if he makes the gallon size. We have one for the smaller ones. Yep. Katie K says, oh, that's so great. I want to join in. Yeah, I don't know. Katie K, I don't know where you're at as far as location goes. But you can feel free to email me, tagandbe@lifedonefree.com, and I'd be happy to visit with you about it. American Roots. Yes, thank you, American Roots. And yoking up lightens the burden. Yeah. So the yoking up is an American Roots term, but it's being used on all kinds of channels now. So it's just kind of become part of the freesteading lingo that building community is yoking up. And you guys can thank American Roots for that.
May your yoke be easy and your burden be light.
Yep. Yep. Amen to that. Mandy says, you want to open that window? Oh, you turned the fan on. Okay. Yeah, that's better. Mandy says, oh, that's clever with the word yoke up. Thanks. Yep. B, you have to have something big enough to fit over the lid. I am using a 4-inch PVC pipe cap, drilled a hole in the top, but trying to find the right rubber gasket to make a seal.
So Arthur was talking about Rain Country.
Mm-hmm.
Her husband makes a vacuum chamber out of PVC that I don't know if you can find a PVC big enough for a gallon jar. That then you put the entire jar in the chamber and suck the air out.
Grumpy, that feels great. Grumpy says, also never forget equally yoked. Yeah, I'm interested to know what you mean by that. And I understand what you're saying is that, you've got to, when you put that yoke on the two horses, they've got to be balanced, right? Or one's pulling more than the other, or you're wearing one out, right? But I'd be interested in Yoda's definition. Katie K says, I love building community. Me too. Mandy says, I love eating fresh cherries. Where do you buy your cherry tree for planting? We've kind of bought them all over.
We bought the 100 from the conservation department.
Yep. So Mandy, if you go to the Missouri, and I'm sure Arkansas does it too, but in Missouri, they've got a really great conservation department, and they were like 50 cents a tree or something. I mean, I don't remember.
They were like $1.40.
Yeah, they were $1.40. They weren't expensive. Anyway, we ordered 100 of them or whatever it was. And, but then we've gotten some from Lowe's, and I bought them from Tractor Supply, and I bought them from, online places like, what are some places you buy from online?
Stark Brothers. Willis.
We've bought from all over. Tabletop says, talk to 2 local Casey gas stations, and they are even having a hard time getting supplies for pizzas. Oh. Yeah, this would not surprise me, guys. And it seems like it's getting tougher and tougher to get a lot of things. So that's why we really need to jump on cherries when they're available.
For sure. I'll get a couple cases of cherries. I'll pop them in the freezer for you.
American Roots says, I will put the ones you all are wearing on the website, AmericanRoots.com. Yeah, so if you guys
want. These are so soft.
And they're nice. They're nicely done. They're soft. I like bees.
Flower.
Yep. Which I can't tell you guys how ironic that American Roots, which if you guys don't know are from Arizona, but how they chose a sunflower, which is
the sunflower state.
We're the sunflower state. So it's just super cool. Okay, where am I at here? Okay. Coraline says, we want you and B to come to Mississippi for a rotation. We'll feed you all and put you all up.
You better.
Yeah. See, Coraline, this is why I love my wife. Yash Mom says, Wolf, equally yoked. There's a huge issue I have. Unequally yoked. Trying to break that now. Yeah, well, you have to believe in the same thing to be equally yoked. You know what? That's a Jess. You should do another one of those, another shirt like that. Equally yoked. That'd be interesting. I'd wear it. Coraline says, today I believe is talking about marrying the person that you will be equally yoked up with. Oh, I couldn't agree now. And people choosing their mates now. I know this is a meme on the internet, but you really ought to be thinking about how to survive a depression. Make sure you pick the right partner for that, So Mandy wants to know, is the conservation department the same as the NRCS or the USDA? I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah, just Google Missouri Conservation Department. They have them in Kansas
Well,
too.
I was going to say I think Nebraska has one. Kansas
Well, they all have
has
them.
one. Nebraska, Missouri. So
Yeah.
wouldn't.
Yeah, I think they all have them. But if you remember, we went through the Kansas one and the Missouri one, and the Missouri one was a much better thing.
Well, so it just depends on what all you're doing. You know, how many trees? What's the shipping? Are you going in on it with somebody?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because the trees from the Missouri Department of Conservation were slightly cheaper, but I think that the shipping, it was like $40 for the shipping.
Mm-hmm.
And that was several years ago.
Yeah. Jeanette says things have to change. Social Security checks now, so adjust within. Yep. Yep. I think it's going to get harder and harder and harder. And I think it's our job to know that and to do all we can today to make it easier and easier and easier. American Root says the Bible is where I learned about being yoked.
Yeah, it's a Bible verse.
Coraline says Yoda, I mean. Carl Price, it's biblical saying to be equally yoked with who you marry. Okay, got it. Grumpy Acre says equally yoked is two minds in a marriage, both on the same page, equal support. You know what's so funny about that is that when she said equally yoked, I was thinking of two horses. And if you did not hitch them correctly, you'd have one doing more of the work.
Right.
They wouldn't be pulling in the same direction with everything they had, which I guess that's kind of the same thing.
Yeah.
But Mandy Garrett, Tabletop says that Mandy Garrett, no, not the same. So Tabletop, Mandy, I would link up with them too. You know, they're from Missouri and they can probably tell you a lot more about it than I can. But there's probably a conservation department that'll get you trees in Arkansas as well. Skane's girl wants to know what part of Mississippi you're in, Corleen. Teepaw, y'all have a very blessed weekend. I've got to go vacuum seal myself. No crackers and pasta. Love the last. Be prepared and life done free. Be in touch soon. Yep. See ya.
Have
Good
a
to
good
hear
night.
from you. Yep. American Root said when we found out Kansas was a sunflower, it was the sunflower state. It was a sign. Yeah. Packrat says equally yoked is spiritually harmonized on the same page, like-minded community. 2 Corinthians 6:14. Interesting. Skane's girl says, okay, got that one. Let me see here. Got that one again. Okay. Okay. Katie K says we're in Missouri. Oh, yeah. Okay. No, Tabletop says they are. Katie K says, sorry, and then they blow by, you know. I'm leaving Kansas in a few weeks. I just bought my permanent home in Missouri. Kansas has been good to me. Yeah, Katie, hook up with Tabletop Farms. Jasper Mom says, Tag, there is a group on freesteading to find that partner for the depression.
It says, is there a group?
Is there? Yeah. We have not created a dating place, but there is. If you go into the Life Done Free community, there is a discussion that's actually very popular about homesteading single
steading,
and they call it single steading. And there's a bunch of there's a bunch of those conversations that go on, but you got to go into the Life Done Free part. A depression now will make the last one look like a picnic. I could not agree more, Richard. Yeah. Okay. Andrew says Ace Hardware has PVC pipes in all sizes here in Texas. Yep. The Bible uses farm facts all throughout the Bible to make a point. It's about the seed, the plant, and the harvest. Mm. Yep. That's interesting. That would actually make a good shirt too. I am only about 2 hours from Jackson. Okay. Got it. We are in Northeast Missouri. We will have to connect. Yep.
Wonderful.
Yeah, wonderful. Love making those connections. And they've got I don't know a lot about their community there. So Tabletop, if I say something wrong, feel free to correct me. But as I believe it, they kind of have a community out there some. And so there might be a good find there.
Near Chillicothe.
What's that? Sorry?
Near Chillicothe, Missouri.
Okay. Yeah, you skipped ahead. I have to read them in order.
I know.
Track.
I know.
That is a fact, Richard. That's why finding community has been even more pressing for me. It's super important, guys. Manny Garrett said, I found Arkansas do have a conservation department. Yeah, see that? See, Mandy, that's the reason to come to the live. Right there. To watch me beg, shamelessly for Cherry Cobbler and for you to get into contact with the conservation department.
Gotta get them cheap trees.
Yeah, Katie K says my in-laws are out there. How wonderful is that? Creating connections, right? Scanes Girl, can you email Tag and he can give you my email if that's okay? Yeah. Yep. I will have to go back since the last time we talked, which will be a long ways down the list, but I'm sure Coralie and I can find it. Katie K says Tabletop Farms. I'll hit you up after the live. Yep. Guys, I spent one day with Tabletop Farms, and then we had a dinner together. They're a fabulous family. They got great kids, and man, they're workers. Andrew's a good guy, but his wife, I think, would outwork most men. I mean, I was super impressed. She's an absolute hustler, and it was just a wonderful experience. And I can't wait to get together with them again. I actually met him in Tennessee.
Did you like that she put Tabletop Farms as her name?
What's that?
Did you like that she changed her name to Tabletop
Yes.
Farms so that you can read it and
Yes.
know who it is?
Well, babe, it's hard for me.
I know.
It's just hard, you know.
You've been saying Jasper's mom, and then she goes to the festival and somebody called her a name, and I was like, "You have a first name?" She just started laughing.
Okay, so Miley's asking you what time is coffee in the morning. So I told him that you get up before me and make me coffee.
I do,
I know you do.
and I don't even drink coffee.
I know you do.
Yeah.
You know what I heard goes really well with coffee?
Everything bagel with some cream cheese on top.
You guys notice she did not bite at all.
I like me an everything bagel.
No, but what time's coffee? About 6 usually?
About 6.
Yeah. Corleen says, I'm going to email you Tag after live. Okay, great. Grumpy Acre says they're great people. Yeah, I agree 100%. I will. I'm also on Freesteading under the same name. Yeah, if you guys, Corleen, if you guys just go to Freesteading and connect, you can direct message.
Yeah.
Right there on Freesteading. That's one of the number one reasons we built it, is so that people would have a safe place where they could communicate, back and forth. Oh my goodness, guys, it's been 2.5 hours.
Pert near.
Yeah, pert near. So, what else we got going on? So what's going to happen tomorrow? I'm going to work on your water tank, right? For the processing kitchen.
Yeah. Yes. Dig up the water tank. I would like to get up to the garden.
What? I thought we were done with the garden.
I just wanted to take a peek.
Is
Real
this
quick.
an all-day lollygagging event? What'd you do today? I spent the day in the garden.
A long
There's nothing in the garden. It's all been
That's
picked.
not true. There's peanuts, there's tobacco, there's peanuts and tobacco.
Yeah, so she goes up in her Kubota in the heater and sits there and plays on freesteading.
No, I don't play on freesteading. But I do. I'm like, hey, what is this Mullen? Let me get on my Google machine and Google this. And then I'm like, I need to dig this up and save some roots. Can I make a tea out of this? Let me just go get a shovel and dig it up. So yeah, I'm still harvesting stuff.
Yeah. Well, I want you to get into the processing kitchen and test your honey and find out if we can harvest it, and then get that harvested so that I can finish that video so I can get that one out too. Right?
I don't know.
And then I'll get your water fixed. I'll get back into pod 4.
So you're doing the water.
No, we are doing the water.
Okay.
I built it. You should actually, why don't you just do the water and the harvesting?
I know.
And I'll go on vacation.
Right.
High five.
Yeah. Just slap me in the face, why don't you? No, you do. We'll do the water together.
This is funny. Hippocrates Garden says 2.5 hours. That was enough time to bake 2 cobbers.
Come on now. He is clearly on your side.
Someone's got to be.
Well, then you could have one.
Deb wants you to know that I told them that you just lay on the roof and watch YouTube.
That is inaccurate.
Oh my God. Yeah,
don't have
Coralie, thank
reception
you,
out
and
here.
have a great weekend. Will a Bud Light cap grow beverages like Wall Street?
No.
No. Mandy Garrett, yes, I like to see a tour of the kitchen. Yeah, we just did one, Mandy, just a few videos back.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Well, it's in the cinnamon roll video. It's in the.
Yeah. But you do need to do a video of all that produce you got in there because it's kind
Oh
of ridiculous.
my gosh, it's ridiculous. I don't want to video that.
Who wants to see a video of Bee's Processing Kitchen and all the produce that's stacked everywhere?
It's my crazy. Who wants to see Bees crazy?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Carl-
we ate some of that tonight.
Yeah, we did.
It's going to take us a lot more meals to get through that.
No, you're going to preserve it all.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Carl Price says,
Yeah.
thank y'all. You kept me smiling and laughing. I needed it after my tractor experience today. Yeah. What's the title of the... Hold on. Let me see here. So one was Cinnamon Roll Fun. We just did that. And then there was, let me see, 1, 2,
Oh,
3,
it's-
4, 5, 6 ago on October the 1st was a Processing Kitchen update. And it's titled Processing Kitchen Update.
Oh, but that's when we were grinding.
Was it?
Well, yeah, because you could see the grinding.
Oh, yeah.
That's
That's where you were
before we
finishing
did the floor.
Yeah, so the Cinnamon Roll Fun would be the most.
Yeah.
Packrat said, oh, yeah, we'd watch that. Work fascinates me. I can sit and look at it for hours.
It fascinates me too.
Yeah.
And the thought of work fascinates me.
I think you and Packrat would get along just marvelously.
I think so too.
Yeah. Yep.
We could play Tetris together.
Right. Right. All right. Well, enough's enough, guys. Hey, listen, love you all. Everybody hang tight. And, like we always talk about, try to live a little bit freer today than you did yesterday. I think it's really, really important. I think with everything's going on in the world, we've really got to stick together. We've really got to find a way to do business together. And so reach out. You guys seen people in here, Tabletop Farms. You guys know they sell all kinds of lettuce and, spinach and all this amazing
Best
produce.
turnips ever.
That's right. Special operations equipment was in here tonight. They sell all kinds of tactical equipment, right? I mean, you've got Grumpy Acres here who sells, root hormone amongst, all kinds of other things. Guys, let's do business together. If you need it, I'm telling you, it's worth the money. It's more upfront, but it's cheaper long-term because you have to sacrifice your freedom to continue to do business the way we've been doing business. So I guess that's all I got. So hold the line. I'm out. What do you got? Hey, wait. Whoop. Babe, got to do me a solid. Just say, I'm going to go make some cherry cobbler.
I thought you were going to say, don't give an inch. Save an inch. Half an inch. What did I say the other day?
I don't know.
Save the line.
Yeah, save the line. Yeah. Say cherry cobbler out.
Nope.
We'll see you guys. See you next Friday.
Out.
Out.